Let's go. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Happy Friday to you. You know, I had planned on doing the Hunter movie tonight, but unfortunately, the format by which my refuse to pay for it copy came in won't play back consistently. So I'm going to do a movie special night on Sunday, and I will break it into chapters later. Oh, this stupid, I got Telegram on because I'm watching all the crazy pants people. Mute notifications, mute forever. There we go. Hopefully I'll break it up into little chunks because it's going to be a long process. It's a 90-minute. I hesitate to call it a movie. Honestly, I'm a little like the concept of calling it a movie is almost upsetting to me. I've seen the promo for it, and I feel like it would be an insult to the Left Behind movies that I also think are an insult to movies to say that. So Sunday night, that will be the case, and we have plenty to cover, not the least of which is, if I may dive right in, don't forget to like and subscribe, support the show. If you have Twitch, and you're on Twitch and you do the Twitchy thing, or you have any Twitch-related relatives in there, Twitch away. And also you can subscribe to us. Oh, crap, I've got to... What? Oh, don't you be quiet, yeah? I don't want you to make noise. I want you to be very quiet, please. Thank you. We'll have plenty to cover tonight, but like and subscribe, give a thumbs up if you're on Twitch. And you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe and it doesn't cost you a dime. Don't forget, on Facebook, you can support the show while you're watching it if you like what you're seeing by putting stars in. Stars are the way to do that. Also, if you can't afford stars, you don't want to pay for stuff and you just, money's tight, whatever the reason is, and you just come here for the anxiety relief, just thank the people that do help out. That would be great, especially our patrons, patreon.com/HALSparks. And, of course, if somebody does give stars or bits or whatever, go, hey, way to go. And on your own, you can just like and subscribe or give a thumbs up to the broadcast. Or if you're on Facebook, use the emojis that they put as a thing. Like, usually the angry emoji apparently helps the most, which should tell you a little bit something. Oh, we got a hype train happening right away. Fantastic. And as we hit our milestones of 666 and 1,000, you can give or not give accordingly and help out. I try not to interrupt the flow of the show to do it too much because that's the reason for the season. Now, it's hard to pick the dumbest takes out there. These days, they're coming hot and heavy. I don't have time to cover them all. It's impossible. However, OAN is always promising. OAN always will give you... anytime they're doing, this is the Chiron, empty Chiron little thing, Russia hoax, just always there. There will be a live stream of OAN from anywhere on Halloween. I don't know what's happening, but that's an ad right there. You're very excited. I'm very excited. You're excited. It's great. And this graphics package they bought or downloaded for free or got as part of their editing package. Good on them. But their guest today is the one, the only, Louie Germert. There has never been this level of corruption at the FBI. For the record, at one point, the FBI was wiretapping MLK during the civil rights era. Fuck you, there sure has been, stupid. And we're not even close to that. Also, this is the kind of thing that a person who's mad about all the human trafficking and fentanyl busts they've done lately, if you're angry and upset about those things, this is how you would respond. Let's go. Whoops, hold on. I have to turn the audio back on because I was still gathering clips during this thing. Okay, here we go.
Hoax shows just how unjust our Department of Justice is.
It's the irony.
Here's one America's John Hines.
There's this trial of Igor Danchenko. He was a Russian, and of course he
still
was involved with a Steele dossier.
Excuse me, I think I just swallowed a tooth.
It's a trial. Mr. Durham is...
He's dozing off. This is good already. Hold on one second. I'm going to just bring this up. Thank you very much. If I may, I might need a translator for this. If you'll excuse me, I'll be right back. Hi. Hey, how y'all doing? Man, listen here, buddy. Hey, that's Louie. Louie's my favorite Congress feller. He lives inside his skull, which is a very small place to live. Mister, tell him about it, Louie. Louie!
Involved in investigation. There's a court filing in the Danchenko.
He doesn't know what court is. You gotta talk slower, man. When Louie gets that look on his face, it's a good idea. Cut to a picture of a younger person. That's the only thing that'll help you in this situation. Okay.
Chinko case, which says or reveals that he.
This is, by the way, this is Igor Pachenko. He's a gambling magnate who used to work for Dr. Frankenstein. If I follow the story,
Was actually an FBI intelligence.
On the payroll.
Yes, on the payroll.
yeah, he was on the payroll, man. He was FBI. They made him an honorary agent like Elvis and Nixon and the DEA. The irony upon irony.
Payroll. And I wonder what you make of that, sir.
Well, it means that our Department of Justice had gotten so corrupt.
During the Trump years. Oh shit! Don't shut up, dummy. This was while Trump was president. What's wrong with you?
That they were hiring Putin's lackeys.
Wait a minute. Trump worked for the DOJ? When'd that happen?
To help them achieve their.
Are these people who are receiving orders? I have got to. Can someone explain this B-roll to me? I do not know how it works. So does he break in on in the middle of watching something? It's like an episode of The Americans, whatever, where they, in the middle, there was watching a movie and pretended to be Americans. And their drapes like automatically close. And then Trump like goes, "Hi, how you doing? Here's Vladimir Putin with your further instructions."
Their political agenda. And just as Jim Jordan has talked about, our
Was that a shot from Jim Jordan's house, or?
committee has had 14 whistleblowers come.
Clearly, Jim Jordan, I don't know if you know this, he doesn't wear a full suit when he works at the Congress, when he's in there, because he developed a habit when he was at Ohio State to take off his pants and jacket. He did that. Come on.
The Republicans. I've had just 6 more in the last week.
What, gallstones? Germert, never been this level of corruption at FBI. And I love when it's a direct quote. Thank you for not including unnecessary conjunctions. I know what he's saying, God damn it.
From the FBI.
From FBI whistleblowers. There has never been this level of corruption. You know, when.
Wait a minute. You're telling me these are the most corrupt FBI whistleblowers we've ever had? Well, somebody tell Ron Johnson. He's been listening to these assholes.
Jagger Hoover was head.
Jagger Hoover? It's pronounced Jaeger. And give me a shot.
He had.
Why must they show a picture of J. Edgar Hoover like we don't know? Secondly, why did they not have one of him in a dress?
He was involved in some corrupt practices.
You can say that again. I was about to say you could say that again, but he probably can't. Jagger Hoover is, Jagger Hoover is, you don't want to drink that shit unless you got on an empty stomach. Never drink Jagger Hoover on an empty stomach. Seriously, it will punch its way through you. Don't ask me how I know that. It's delicious though. It tastes like, you know how like regular Jägermeister tastes like licorice? This tastes like red vines and bourbon. I swear to God, man, you take a glass of Jagger Hoover, set it on top of your head, your tongue will beat your brains out trying to get to it. Whoo!
But this is so systemic now.
Yeah, I mean, basically, everybody who's a cop is a criminal. Everybody who's a criminal is a cop. The whole world's in the topsy-turvy.
Christopher Wray is
Who just, they put a picture of him up just in case you think he looks exactly like Jagger Hoover.
his deputy.
Jagger Hoover. I don't speak German. Shut the fuck up.
According to whistleblowers,
Yes, but by your admission, the most corrupt whistleblowers ever. Or did I mishear your misstatement?
is corrupt
Ah, thank you for saying that word again.
and doesn't enforce the laws, particularly on security.
Man, this is the weirdest closed captioning I have ever seen in my life. This is like, you know how they like American Sign Language? This is like video sign language for dummies. But next time, when they say oil, put up oil barrels. If he says gas, show a gas tank. Or other. You can't show a picture of that. Come on. I'm okay. Okay. I feel better.
Skiffs. In fact, the whistleblowers make clear
From hiding, don't they? You know, they make it totally clear while they remain completely obscured in an unknown location.
that our big problem is not at Mar-a-Lago.
Oh no, that's true. Louie, your big trouble is not at Mar-a-Lago. And this comes from a friend. It's at the dentist's office. See, I used to have gomertitis, and then I just ran out of loose ones.
It's at the 7th floor of the Hoover building. So this is dangerous stuff, and it's just
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 1, 2. He's counting the ground floor.
one more indication. I didn't know Danchenko was on the payroll till we saw this come out. From
Well, he sure's got nice headshots. This guy, for being a spy or an undercover spook or whatever he is, he sure does have a lot of professional photography.
Durham, but it's one more indication that
That orange is the new background.
head is corrupt.
Hi, lady.
It's now systemic. It's gotten out to field offices, according to whistleblowers.
Yeah. You can't set foot in an FBI field office without speaking Russian.
And we've got to remove the stinking, rotting heads of the DOJ.
Metaphorically. Hi, stupid. Metaphorically. No. Hey, stupid. Now he's going to get a fucking visit, get his goddamn door kicked in, and then it's all going to be like, let's corrupt all you. You don't even have the freedom of speech to threaten to decapitate the heads of the DOJ now. What's America coming to? Shut up, dummy.
And the FBI,
By the way, I was by them doors not too long ago. They some big doors.
if we're ever going to.
FBI police. So they got their own police that go after the FBI. So maybe they're not corrupt after all.
Get this place fixed.
This is like NCIS. You ever watch that NCIS? They goes after them Marines and shit like that. This is the FBI police. FBIP. Female body inspector, please.
The other court filing, which was, I think, a bit of surprise to some people in
Shocking. What was it?
the Durham investigation involving
Yes, people were shocked about that Durham thing, that it didn't amount to a hill of fucking beans.
Mr. Danchenko.
By the way, my name in middle school was Hill of Beans. I will not tell you how I came about getting that name. You will have to guess. I will give you 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count.
Was court filing saying that Mr. Danchenko informed the FBI, I believe in January 2017, that the Steele dossier was false.
No, he didn't say that at all. That's not what he said. But the nice thing is you know what? It doesn't have to be true. Because Louie, you can tell from his face, is the kind of feller who believes anything as soon as you tell him it if he likes it. If you tell him something he's gonna like, he's gonna believe it right out of the gate. And in my neck of the woods, that's how you end up in my neck of the woods, quite frankly.
Does this put a different cast on the Russian collusion narrative at this point, sir?
Well, it shows exactly what many of us have been saying. You've been reporting that what we're seeing is projecting, gaslighting, where the Democrats have been engaged in this wrongdoing.
Not wrongdoing. They're doing wrong. They done me wrong.
Corruption, the
Terrible.
politics through the DOJ.
Yeah, they've been doing the Democrats were running their politics like shit through a goose right through the DOJ, but only during the time when Trump was running it and picked the people in charge of it. My God, these Democrats, they're insidious. How do they manage to do this? How they manage to get such like fine control over the inner workings of the Department of Justice and the FBI, but only when Trump is running it? Why couldn't they have done it during the Bush years? How come they never managed to do that during Obama or Clinton? Why couldn't they have done that when fucking people were fucking with Bill about Monica?
And blaming Republicans all this time when it turned out it wasn't Republicans, it was the DNC, it was the Hillary Clinton
Wait a minute, you had a DNC? I thought that was kind of a lady thing.
campaign, it was the FBI, it was
It was everybody. Thank you for clearing this up. By the way, it was everybody except Louie Germert and the Freedom Caucasians.
keep in mind, apparently after Chinko.
Dan Chinko. His name's Dan Chinko. Nice to meet you. How you doing? Good to see you. Hop in the van. Would you like to see my neck of the woods? My name is Dan. Some people call me Danny. Danny Chinko. Just call me.
Revealed that the Steele dossier was both.
The Steele dossier, which is if I'm not mistaken, is a form of coffee table, but only found in the Ottoman Empire.
Bogus. They still got 2 more warrants based on that.
That's nutty. Even after stuff was discussed, that's unbelievable. I mean, it's not believable. I mean, I don't believe it. I don't believe you believe it.
It shows how dishonest our DOJ has gotten. We can't fix the wrongs in America when we have such corruption in our Department of so-called justice.
The Department of so-called justice. The DOJ. I don't like the DOJ. They cannot be. Why don't you just call it Department of Trust in a total fit of fucking irony? How come people didn't recognize we had these problems that we didn't have when Trump wasn't in office until he was? And then we found out we had these problems while he was in office, and now we know that those problems were there when he was there, but not after. What happened?
Congressman Louie Germert, thank you for talking to us.
Lou, I'm sorry. What was his name again? Run that shit by me. His name was Lou Germert. Lou Germert.
We can't fix the
Stupid.
wrongs in America when we have such corruption in our Department
If fixing corruption is wrong, I don't want to be right.
of so-called justice.
Congressman Louie Germert, thank you for talking.
Congressman Lou Germert. Thank you. Congressman Lou Germert.
To some One American News, sir.
Thank you, John.
Well, he got his name right. John, you're a prick. Why did he? Lou Germert. Lou Germert and Jagger Bomb. What was that dude's name? Jagger Hoover? Jagger Hoover? Jagger Hoover. Jagger Hoover. Yeah, that's what they toast at the FBI whenever a successful wiretap against a civil rights leader goes through. Just go, here's to Here's the Jagger Hoover and with bow-legged women and whoop.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future,
Where's that One American News headed in the future?
we would like to introduce you to OAN Live.
Oh my God, it's live? That's incredible. I can get this kind of idiocy quicker? Fantastic. I hate having to wait.
OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date.
Oh God, you can't do that. You can't. This is like a dick roll. It's like when you rick roll somebody with a picture of a complete asshole. You can't do that to me. You can't. OAN, you bastards. Why would you do that? Why would you launch a picture of Ron DeSantis at me like that without any heads up?
All of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting...
Well, that's a lovely combo of dress she's wearing. It looks like a French version of that's what you call a Franco sheen, where they do the Chinese chi pao with French. Never mind. Anyways, and then that's a lady who stood in the back of the briefings and then got asked to leave.
National and international headlines.
Faith in Syria. I have no faith in Syria. They sell fucking Hitler stamps in Syria. My great-grandpa didn't fight in World War II so he could get a letter from the front with a Hitler stamp on it, you fucking asshole.
And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99.
What? Only $4.99? Is there a 82% discount?
Per month.
Per month? I thought it was for a year, man. You can't. That's just a letdown. You can't expect me to every month.
All the credible, honest.
Oh, I'm fine. God damn. I'm sorry. It's not. I realize it's Trump now. I thought it was a circus peanut covered in cotton candy that was flavored to taste like cigarette butts. I now, come on now, I now recognize it as the former president. But you gotta, how do you not immediately, it's like I was having a nightmare where I was being attacked by a giant circus peanut covered in cotton candy that tastes like Pall Malls.
Unbiased reporting. One America News.
Oh my God. You guys got to stop this. That's that Devin Newsmax guy.
Offers at a fraction of the
He doesn't seem happy.
cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN.
I don't know how easy it's going to be. I'm just saying that's a lot of work. I'm going to have to get back to you on that one. Hi, you're watching HAL Sparks Mega Worldwide. That was Louie Germert. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking like, how do we out-dumb Louie Germert that early in the show, man? How do you top that kind of idiocy? Do you want to know? Yeah, that's how you do it. There you go. It's been a little bit since we've had Rusty Trombone over here doing this. Apparently, and the reason for this video, I have not watched this video, but the reason we had to do it, first of all, it says Russian-Ukraine war. And then right here it says, you couldn't make this shit up. First of all, he's doing that thing where he swears in his thing, but he uses an asterisk to take the word out, the letter out, so that he can get around the algorithm problems. Secondly, I can make up anything, you fucking turd. It aggravates me. It aggravates me a lot when, and I don't know what this 33 on here, and then he's got the same 33 on his shirt. So he's getting his tattoos done on a jumpsuit. Like, oh God. He's wearing stage clothes on his shows. What's happening? Anyways, but I can make up anything. He might be an uncreative asshole. I, however, can make up almost anything. The question is, would you or not? This is about Ukraine, though, and this is the hand gestures already tell us that the straw manning and the hyperbolic bullshitting will be hot and heavy. Let's see.
The Ukrainian war goes on. The Biden administration refuses to publish military expenditure.
Yeah, dummy, because from military expenditure, the Russians would be able to tell what we're sending and where it's going. See, because in that would be military transport, and they could tell by distance where it would actually end up happening. All right, fucking, God. Yes, they're keeping a big secret. I don't know why. Remember during, in the lead up to D-Day when they would post the bill right before, what the fuck?
Boris Johnson pressured Zelensky into continuing to pursue a military agenda.
A military agenda? A military agenda? Motherfucker, his country was attacked.
Anyone going to do anything about this war, or are they just going to complain about an energy crisis that they're contributing to and possibly even causing?
I don't know what the fuck that is. So basically, they're contributing to the energy crisis by just not giving in to Russia's rape squads. Fuck you. I mean, there you go. That's his thoughts on it. Yeah, that's the Russell Brand on the Ukraine war. He's got, what has he got? 11 minutes and change. Let's go.
Hello there, you 5.9
Fuck off.
million awakening wonders. Thank you
Zip up your shirt. Wear a shirt. Fucking hippie Alex Jones.
for joining me on this voyage towards truth, embracing the complexity of emergent and nuanced realities that are already within us, unfolding beautifully.
Jesus Christ, he's even doing the Trump hand gestures now. What the fuck is that?
At this time of shifting polarities,
Get out of here with that.
at this time of apocalypse, which can mean
This time of apocalypse. What is that gesture? Where the universe will be fisting us all. Shut the fuck up.
revelation, but can also mean, as you know, from the old Bible, the end of the world, which
What? First of all, from the old Bible, apocalypse didn't mean the end of the world. It meant when all would be revealed.
could potentially be brought about if our leaders grandstand and say things like they would be willing to use nuclear weapons, as new British Prime Minister Liz Truss has just said. So,
Well, let's cut to it. Where did she say? Okay, hold on. Liz Truss. Let's see. Liz Truss willing to use nukes. Let's just, that should come up. This is, oops, hold on. This
You'll
is
be
her.
ushered into a room very
So, August 24th, 2022, Daily Mail. This is what he's talking about. Liz Truss asked about nuclear weapons. She says, I'm ready to do it. That's what he's talking about. Hold on.
privately at number 10 will be laid out in front of you what are called the letters of last resort, your orders to our Trident boat captain on whether you, Prime Minister Liz Truss, is giving the order to unleash our nuclear weapons. It would mean global annihilation. I won't ask you, would you press the button? You will say yes. But faced with that task, I would feel physically sick. How does that thought make you feel?
I think it's an important duty of the Prime Minister. I'm ready to do that.
What he's basically, yeah, I know you're going to say yes, but it's like a final strike or whatever. The point they're trying to make is, and this seems to be, it would make me physically ill. Certainly as a woman, you would feel physically ill. Okay, they're not, the UK isn't going to nuke anybody.
we have an important situation. We have the Ukrainian war where we're invited to sympathise, understandably, with the
Yeah, that's understandably.
victims and not analyse too deeply the causes of the war and the
Yeah, this is Russell Brand on the Ukraine war. We're not going to analyze too deeply the causes of the war. No, you just have on Aaron Mate and Jimmy Dore and fucking Blumenthal from the Gray Zone to talk about how the place is full of fucking Nazis and they had it coming and NATO expansion. But we're not going to get too deeply into it because I'm alone and I don't understand any of these fucking things.
likely ongoing consequences and ramifications of it, we have a bizarre new revelation that the Biden administration won't be publishing military expenditure at a time when it would seem that transparency would be vital.
No, at a time when transparency would be fucking lunacy. We're finding out that as the New York Police Department tries to bring down the mob, they are refusing to list the names and descriptions of and photographs of every undercover agent that they've got everywhere. What?
But let's start with a little look at the new...
Let's start with a little look, shall we? Shall we? Let's just give it a thought. Let's stop and have a think. Yes? Let's have a think. Why don't we? Yes. You know what this is? It's two jellyfishes fighting before they have sex.
New UK leader, Liz Truss, bragging and a boasting, she will press the button if pressured. There's only one button.
If pressured.
I want you guys...
All right, yeah. But don't, talking about nuclear war, and it might be the end of the world, but I don't whack it. Speaking of button, get the fuck out of here. If you want any better example that this asshole does not believe a word he's saying, look at his face.
Pressing, and that's the notification button.
No. Yeah, because he wants to track you.
Press it right now in case the algorithm's against us. Now let's see how hard Liz Truss is. Go on, Liz!
You'll be ushered into a room,
Right,
very privately at number 10. Will be laid out in front of you what are called the letters of last resort.
Right. So it'll be ushered into the lessons of last resort? The lessers?
What's this guy's role? Okay, you're going to be ushered into a...
Yes, he's trying to set the scene that it's a very serious situation.
Room at number 10. Excuse me, what? Who are you? I just want to pose to you...
She's going to, if you are the prime minister, what happens if you're confronted with the weapon of last resort? Do you use the weapon of last resort? Well, clearly, this is our last resort, is it? Yes, it is. Well, then I'll use it.
These three ideas: the ongoing war, the energy crisis, advancing militarism and military grandstanding.
Yeah, using nukes as a weapon of last resort is not advancing militarism. It's advancing the Bronze Age. Stupid. If you're at that point, there are no weapons contractors who are sitting there going, I think there's a lot of money in the post-nuclear explosion era.
And also bear this in mind as well. This week, the State Department announced that the World Military Expenditures and Arms Transfers Report, which has been published for over 50 years, will no longer be produced.
Right.
As usual, that provision was buried deep inside the National Defense Authorization Act for the financial year 2022.
Yeah, because from that, you would be able to extrapolate the resources that Ukraine has and doesn't have, where they might be, what we're building up for them, when it might arrive, when the transportation costs are actually going to release, what will be involved in the Lend-Lease program. Yeah.
So there's a few things I want you to consider.
Okay, you want us to consider this. Consider this. How about consider that that's not a real window behind him. That's a television with a camera on the woodpile thing he has behind his house, but people like the look of it from his office where he used to do the show, so they moved that image in here because he's a fucking poser.
Remember, the Ukraine war, change the picture in your bio. The terrible, sad thing. The energy.
That's his description of people's empathy towards the Ukrainian people, and in response to the Russians sending in, at this point now, prisoners, but also Chechens and Wagner Group mercs that have been, there's video of them castrating a Ukrainian prisoner of war on video while he's awake, alive, and aware. And then they shoot him. But it's you, because you're just hashtagging, aren't you? Fuck off.
Ukraine war, change the picture in your bio. The terrible, sad thing. The energy crisis. Why is this war being prolonged?
Why? What do you mean, why is this war being prolonged? Because it's taking longer to wipe the Ukrainian identity off the map than Putin had planned. He thought it was going to be 3 weeks. And apparently, the Ukrainians aren't on board with this whole genocide thing.
Why is a new leader grandstanding about nukes?
She's not grandstanding about nukes. She's being asked a very serious question. Part of the problem with being a female leader these days is the assumption that you are somehow weaker, especially on security, than men are. So you'll find that female leaders often give more stern answers to questions than men do because they don't get the benefit of the doubt.
And why, all of a sudden, have the US State Department stopped publishing vital figures?
They're not. Okay. First of all, because we're literally helping provide arms to the Ukrainians. Yeah, it is a bunch of Slayer chick. It is a bunch of misogynistic bullshit. Right.
Is it because the information in there's so heartwarming they don't want to take us to giddy heights?
That's an interesting hand gesture you just did there, but we'll put that for another time. And no, not to giddy heights, because they don't want the whatever we know, the Russians know.
Orders to our Trident boat captain on whether you, Prime Minister Liz Truss, is giving the order to unleash our nuclear weapons.
But this is weird, isn't it? It's that workshop. What's going on here? Right, Liz, now, see here, mate.
All right, he's got to break this up for, like, I don't know what the BBC's rules are with fair use. If you're criticizing policy from Liz Truss and you're criticizing her readiness to take military action or perhaps her ease at which she do it, then do so. Cracking on about the fucking guy who's interviewing her as if that's her fault or her responsibility is, it's a childish waste of time. He's puffing this piece up. This is supposed to be on. Remember, the title of this, first of all, on here it's you couldn't make this shit up, which you absolutely can. I could dress up as this asshole and basically parrot all this bullshit because he's just regurgitating shit we've seen from other people. Secondly, the title of this was RB on the Ukraine war. Well, get at it, motherfucker.
Lovely. You're Prime Minister now. You're ushered into a room.
Okay, they're cutting the shit out of this too. He's a little sporadic today.
Atmosphere's electric. God knows how you're paying for that atmosphere. Electricity costs a bomb these days. Now, will you press the old button?
It would mean global annihilation.
I don't think that needs caveating. Is it? Sorry, what are nuclear weapons? Oh, God, how did you even get this job?
And I won't ask you, would you press the button? You will say yes. But faced with that task, I would feel physically sick.
But you would still push the button by your own admission. The point, and it doesn't make, I got news for you, asshole. It doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, when she pushes the button or whatever they do, someone else pushes the button. Someone else actually, two guys in a silo turn two keys, or two guys on a boat turn two keys too far away from each other for one person to be able to do it with both arms, and they signal each other and they do a little countdown. They have to do that too. And those guys can't throw up. They just got to do it because they don't know the rest of what's going on. That's the issue with these kind of weapons anyways. Yeah, turn your key, sir. Exactly. The Whopper, all that stuff. Exactly. You guys, from war games to like umpteen 80s movies about nuclear annihilation. We all saw them. This guy is supposed to be like, wouldn't this be gut-wrenching for you? It's like, no. Do you realize do you know how bad shit would have to be for that to play out? Do you understand? Like at a certain point, and anybody who would be in that position, the stomach churning is well over at this point. I could easily make a decision to not launch nuclear weapons. Exactly. She could too. But are you in his? He's painting this picture and painting her into a corner, and then saying, now that you're in a corner, do you walk out with paint on your feet, or you fucking jump? I don't know, whatever.
He's given us too much personal insight and personal information in what's meant to be just an interview with the Prime Minister, Liz Truss. I would feel aroused. That missile, I'd see it as an atomic skycock. Fucking God
All right, that's not what he said at all. As a matter of fact, he said the exact opposite.
in his mind. All right, mate, it's just an interview.
How does that thought make you feel?
I think it's an important duty of the Prime Minister. I'm ready to do that.
Yeah, this is ridiculous grandstanding, yet more theatre. At a time what you need is clarity and transparency.
She's being very clear. Faced with an insurmountable choice in this circumstance, would you do the thing that's your only final option? Would you be able to take a final option in a situation where a final option is out? Yes, because the belief that you would do it is one of the few things that keeps the other people from firing their missiles. If they think you would hesitate, then half of mutual assured destruction collapses. We'll fire by the time, she's a girl. By the time she gets around to it, well, it'll be too late. Their missiles will just stay in there. They're not going to attack us. We could bomb all of England and nothing will happen to us. That's the idea. So when she's answering this question, she's not answering the question, would you annihilate the rest of the world? What she is saying is to Vladimir Putin or some rogue group of people in fucking Pakistan or wherever the threat might come from that she's concerned about, she's saying to them, you shoot, we shoot. The deterrent stays. If she says, I don't know that I could be able to do that, then the people with the other nukes are like, oh, well, shit. Okay, well, let's ratchet up these things because the rest of the world might be, like if we fire on the States, they're going to fire on us. If we fire on France, they're going to fire on us. If we fire on Germans are going to fire on us. But the UK, there'll be a hesitation. And by the time that gets around to it, everybody's going to go, oh my God, they blew up the UK. And then we're back into like, we'll shoot you too. No, I'll shoot you. And then what happened to UK? They were made an example of. The point she's trying to make is, will you play your part in mutual assured destruction? Yes. I will play my part. I will not do this preemptively, but if they attack, I'll attack, which will keep them from attacking. Yeah, such a dumb hypothetical. It's too late if we're at the button decision. Exactly, Twitchy Gollum. She didn't have an option in his hypothetical situation.
Couple that with the decision not to publish military expenditure.
No, these are not aligned, dumb fuck. As a matter of fact, it's the exact opposite. She's being abundantly clear that she would follow through if that was the and not showing where stuff is has been bought and sold and sent. And by the way, it's not just going to Ukraine. We are also teaching Polish fighters, like fighter pilots, how to use our gear, and we are sending stuff to Germany, and we are sending stuff to Norway, and we're sending stuff to surround Taiwan. And if you can backdate the sales point for arrival in the hot war situation in Ukraine, you can also make counter choices based on the budget for stuff that's coming. Like, first of all, Nobody actually thinks we have $500 hammers in the defense budget or $2,000 toilets, do you? You don't really think that, do you? You got to put it in the budget. You got to put how much money is in the budget and where it's going. But you don't have to be honest about it, because if you're honest about it, they know exactly where the fuck it's going and what it's being spent on and how to counteract it. Yeah, the F-35 is a NATO plane. They all need to know how to fly it. Exactly. Where the parts are going. Do they need more parts? Are they? Did we hit them or did we not? If we send how many howitzers over there, and then when they've created the fake howitzers, and all of a sudden Russia goes, we've hit the howitzers. We've blown up 7 of them, and then they see the budget and they're like, huh? They didn't send over any repair stuff for those. They didn't a replacement for those howitzers or any of the replacement for the vehicles that towed them. That's weird. Maybe we missed.
And the story that Boris Johnson pressured Zelensky.
Boris who? I'm sorry. He's the Who's he again?
Publish military expenditure, and the story that Boris Johnson...
Boris Johnson. I'm not familiar with his work. Maybe he's a writer at the Daily Mail.
Pressured Zelensky to continue the war when Zelensky was ready to seek a peaceful solution. You have a very peculiar situation emerging.
I think it's an important duty of the Prime Minister. I'm ready to do that.
Bravo, bravo. Not only is that my life, that's my children's life and my grandchildren's.
No, it isn't, asshole. Her not saying that is your children's life and your grandchildren's life, because we don't trust the Russians. They are not trustworthy. And if they think you might not shoot back or you will delay, they might be more apt to kill your children. Yeah.
Life. All of the birds, all of the insects, blades of grass, all gone. Well done, well done. You certainly now don't look like a substitute teacher or a deputy headmistress at a village school.
Okay, nothing, misogynistic or like the condescension is gross.
You're a powerful person who's ready to indiscriminately kill people. Well,
no, she isn't. She's ready to respond to the indiscriminate killing of people in kind if that choice comes, therefore letting the people who might indiscriminately kill people, who, by the way, are currently indiscriminately killing people in Ukraine, letting those folks know that they will get what they give if they think about it. If she doesn't do that, then you're just welcoming the Russians to use you guys as an example.
Well done. Not like old walrus chops over there. That's literally an audience of people applauding their own demise.
No, it's the exact opposite.
That's how well we've been trained.
How the UK can't launch without US approval? Well, believe me, if we've given them tacit approval. They're not going to have to call afterwards. If we'll be in coordination. Like I said, by the time that stuff happens, things are so fucked that everybody is making gut-wrenching decisions all day, every day.
By the media. That's how embedded these narratives and ideas are. What's in people's mind that you're applauding that? So
you're applauding the fact that she's willing to do this so that you remain safe. It's the same thing as saying, if you are in a situation as a police officer and someone pulls a gun on you, are you willing to fire back? Yes. Even if it means killing you and the other person, yes. Because it will save the people behind me, but also letting people know that they don't walk up on somebody and go, these cops around here, they don't pull their guns. I'll just shoot them.
Press the button. Yes, under certain circumstances, I will destroy civilization.
All right, does his audience actually buy this bullshit? Or are they just bots that go, yeah, he's fucking with the right people and being condescending towards women and ridiculing the new prime minister because she's a chick?
It's not like at the end of an interesting rally between the Williams sisters. Oh, that's good. That's very good. Wow, what can be achieved with all that training and a go-get-em father? This is the annihilation of Earth, of all of our realities.
I asked how it would make you feel.
You're applauding, and we're all happy about the annihilation of planet Earth. But I actually asked how it would make you feel.
I'm ready to do it.
Who cares how she feels anyway?
Well, that's kind of the point. It wouldn't matter how she feels.
Who cares how a person feels after they've destroyed the planet? If the planet's been destroyed, oh well, never mind that, all that infrastructure, Michelangelo, everything, that's all gone, everything's gone now. But how do you feel? Let's get to the nub. Never mind all the children that will never be born.
Also, psychologically, the answer to that question is, again, another tip of the hat to whomever the adversary might be that, I don't think she's serious about it. I know she said it, but she said it would make her sick to her stomach. So I'm going to go with she's not strong enough to do it. Yeah, any leader of any country would give the same answer. And if they don't, they're welcoming murder.
history annihilated. Perhaps if you believe that human life only exists on Earth, or, conscious sentient life, the annihilation of the conscious experience and meaning itself. How did you feel about that? Just a bit worried about it, really. I felt a bit down in the dumps, a bit down in the mouth about it, really. At least the most...
Well, she knows it's a condescending question. You can tell by the look on her face. She's like, this is not a question you ask men. And the dude tries to, give himself an out by going, it would make me sick to my stomach. But the question, this is a question about, look, we know chicks can't pull the trigger. That's what that is.
Most powerful nation on Earth, the United States of America,
Thanks for noticing.
aren't concealing how much money they're spending on weapons.
Right, because if we don't, Russia will know where those weapons are going, when they're being transported, where they'll arrive, how many repair parts we have, what kind of casualties we expect, what NATO support we're giving, and what limited allocations are moving about the globe, where our ships are parked around Taiwan.
Oh, no, they are doing that. The elimination of this important program comes as sources say that the United States is virtually unable to track what happens to the military equipment and weapons being sent to Ukraine.
Source, Law Enforcement Today. LawEnforcementToday.com. Daily number of illegal... This is, it's just cops, right? It's just cops talking. It's just a cop talk thing. If you want a job, you can write for them. Daily number of illegal immigrants entering U.S. shatters previous record, highest in U.S. history. Whoops. Can you guess the number? In the featured must-reads. Let's see. Photo of trooper praying for dad with cancer goes viral. Daughter to honor father with nonprofit work. New York's new unconstitutional ammo registry threatens not just gun owners, but also conservation in the state. Bus drops off migrants in front of Harris's home. Suddenly, Biden asking for Mexico to stop border crossings. Caught on camera, woman handcuffed, placed on police SUV, gets officer's rifle, opens fire. The list you don't want to be on here are the top 10 worst states in America to be a cop in. New plan for police defunded NYC. Detectives will be posted as scarecrows to deter crime. Where the fuck is this? Investigations laid. Off-duty deputy under investigation for shooting former inmate who tried to choke him out at his home. Yeah, there's always there's an investigation after every shooting. Man arrested for breaking into the house of ex-girlfriend, desecrating the remains of her child, claims he was blacked out. Man, okay, this is just crime shit. Okay, so news. Let's see. Around the world. It's probably in around the world. We're going to guess it's around there. Okay. Red alert for America. China can take down the United States without firing a shot through technology. Beijing, while Biden administration continues its assault on constitutional rights of Americans, focusing on so-called domestic terror. You getting the feeling that Law Enforcement Today has a slight political slant to it? So-called domestic terrorism, in quotes, committed only by its political enemies. China continues to work on its plan to take down the United States, not directly through the use of technology. But through the use of technology. According to Slay News, the communist nation has been utilizing technology. Slay News, girl. Slay. Here you go, Slay. Ron Paul reveals the next big financial... Fuck, man. Communist China is waging digital war on the West. They also, diabetes makes your balls shrink. Hey, look at this. And right there, happening now. Russell Brand, you can't make this up. Look at that there. And Bongino, look at Bongholio. Recommended videos. Suck it up, leftoids, you're losing, says whoever. Biden's DOJ now begging judge to keep Trump talking. Arguably blows world's largest naval fleet, though they have only one overseas naval base. Meanwhile, U.S. maintains central communist China, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so Slay. So this is The View, something about The View, Jesus. Atheist American author says terrorist mastermind bin Laden is a better person than Donald Trump. Saudi Arabia, other Middle East countries warn Netflix over, and he's like, hey, what's next? Yet another fertilizer crunch. Exclusive why the Russian why the Russians started the war by targeting police stations. Hint, divide and conquer. New Mexico, most transparent administration. There it is. This is it. This is the article. Most transparent administration history, which is in quotes, stops publishing military expenditures arms transfer reports. From J.J. Patrick, August 27th. Around the World, editorial. From the most transparent, we find this week, State Department announced it's not going to do that, right? Under the law, it's required, but you don't have to do it. So here you go. New, the real Tory Brook is a U.S. announced it will no longer be publishing its military expenditures and arms transfers. Why would the most the announcement read? The Department of State published December 29th section of this. Consistent with this repeal, the Department of State will cease to... Okay, sorry. National Defense Authorization Act of fiscal year 2022 repealed the 1994 statutory provision that required the Department of State to publish an edition of WMeat every year. Yummy. Oh, look, a Tucker story embedded. A simple Google or DuckDuckGo search for any reporting on this development comes up. Goose eggs. The only mainstream media source is Tucker Carlson. What a shock. None other than CNN reported back in April has few ways to track the substantial supply of anti-tank, anti-aircraft, and other weaponry sent across the border to Ukraine. This was 4 months ago, and the United States has poured many more tens of billions of dollars in military. Yeah, this is just anti. This is one like this reeks of like a Russian propaganda site meant to foment like cops hating civvies and civvies hating cops.
Ostensibly to fight against Vladimir Putin's invading Russian army. We want clarity, don't we?
No, we'll have a report afterwards. I don't need in the middle of a fucking car chase for a police officer to live stream and describe everything that they're doing.
Just as a general rule.
No, not as a general rule, especially around secret military operations that could cost people their fucking lives.
This time of fracture, conflict, and
yeah, that's what it's fracture and conflict.
Obfuscation.
Obfuscation, yes. The whole world shrouded in darkness.
Uncertainty.
Has there ever been... You ever been alive during a time where there was certainty? Has anybody... Go find... I mean, you could argue that Leave It to Beaver was an anecdote to the level of uncertainty that people had just experienced with World War II coming back. No.
Doubt. We would want plain transparency from the...
No, we would not want plain transparency, you dumb fuck.
Government. Also, generally speaking, when people start to conceal things, like how much money they're spending on weapons, it's not good news, is it?
Yeah, it's you might, if you look, find out that they are currently trying to help someone who is being attacked. And that person, knowing what the defensive capability and indeed the means by which you would carry out that defense are, would be a bad thing and make them more apt to be able to attack the person they are attacking. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad that Russia invaded Ukraine. That's not a good thing. But that's why.
Oh, you thought we were spending too much money on weapons and setting up armed contracts with Lockheed Martin and Boeing and potentially taking backhanders, did you? Just because people in Congress have investments in Lockheed Martin and Boeing and companies that manufacture. Well, actually, all of that...
All right. It's a grown man. It's a grown man who has children, ostensibly, and has a meditation program that he sells. And if you go see him live, they do meditations after his show, and they kind of have a spiritual moment, kind of like a yoga gathering. And yeah, the rest of the time
weapons money was being spent on a surprise party for your birthday, and you've ruined it. You're just like your father. Some analysts estimate the true figure of the US commitment to Ukraine is up to $40 billion in security assistance, or 100...
Some analysts estimate this, and then he goes to The Intercept. Some estimate that was almost precisely the number agreed to in the spring and that has been doled out over time. Or if you extrapolate $40 billion over the last year till August of last year before whatever, then obviously.
$10 million a day over the last year. The relentless stream of funding announcements in the absence of any public discussion of what the US is doing to seek an end to the conflict.
Oh, no. Oh, there's a whole discussion about the end of the conflict. Russia can get the fuck out and stay out. End of conflict. Matter of fact, the Russians could end this conflict tomorrow. Just take your troops out. Go away. Just fuck off. Give back the land you took. Stop bombing infrastructure and civilian buildings and piss off. Really easy. I'm sure it would really upset the military-industrial complex, too.
Has signaled to critics a recognition that there's no end in sight to the war.
Oh, no, there's an end in sight. Yeah. I mean, it probably is about 6 to 7 months. It could happen faster, but it's going to entail Ukraine taking back Crimea, and then it's going to entail them pushing the Russians back up to their own border. It'll probably mean a border dust-up or two in the next 7 months. Hopefully less time, but that would be it. That would be that's an end in sight. I can see it, especially after the last couple weeks.
And that the US is committed to supporting Ukrainian defense efforts for the long haul rather than pursue a negotiated end to it.
I'm sorry, what negotiated end would that be? That Russia gets to keep the land they took via murder? What's the negotiated end? Why and where in this is the Russian responsibility being the attacking force? We're supporting Ukraine, but we can't tell them what to do. Even if we suggested to Zelensky, get out of the country, they're going to kill you. We know they're going to try. The decapitation is their goal right now. And he was like, no, I'm sticking around. I'm like, okay. Even the lead up to this, Biden was like, it's going to happen. And it was like, it's not going to happen. They do this all the time. And he's like, it's happening. They're going to do this. Be ready. And they did.
Oh my God, it's happening again. It's happening again. Afghanistan, it's happening again.
No, it isn't. Unless you're talking about the Russian invasion of Afghanistan, where they destroyed half of the villages in the country just as a matter of course.
They've just had one forever war. Read a little bit of George Orwell. We've just been for...
I'm sorry, we just had a forever war? Oh, you mean the one that Biden ended?
For Afghanistan. Why are we doing Afghanistan too?
We're not. We're not sending troops in. We're supporting the Ukrainians against being attacked.
We just had the last one. The US is really preparing for a long war. It's actually preparing for endless war in Ukraine, said Stephen Semler, co-founder of the Security Policy Reform Institute.
Ooh, the Security Policy Reform Institute. So I'm guessing they formed an institute to reform what they view as security policy that is what? Not good for Russia?
Why would that be? When war is bad, when we all agree that war is bad, when we've...
Yeah, well, we don't all agree. We don't all agree that war is bad. As a matter of fact, Vladimir Putin thinks it's good. It's very, very good. And he likes it. And it's one of the few things he really does like anymore. And it's the only thing he really knows how to do, he thinks. He doesn't do it very well, but he thinks he does. And that's enough. So I don't like war. The Ukrainians would rather not be in this fucking situation, obviously. But to say we all don't like war is not true. The Russians actually think it's quite fine. They don't mind losing tens of thousands of their citizens attacking another fucking country.
We've seen that it could lead to Armageddon because Liz Truss, she's up for it. She'll press the button at the first sign of trouble. Why would we be engaged in a dalliance with perpetual destruction?
Yeah, why don't we just let Russia do whatever the fuck they want? Why don't we let mutual assured destruction be an umbrella over which, we pretend like everything's peaceful, and underneath, Russia can just fuck up anybody they want because we're all afraid of the umbrella.
Even when we know that the current consequences are negative, let alone the human suffering in Ukraine, the
human suffering in Ukraine, those poor Russian soldiers in train cars rotting in the heat outside of in Belgorod Oblast.
Energy consequences, which some people
The energy consequence.
are curious about why it has the particular impact that it's having. But
Are they? What do you mean, people in your fucking chat room who don't understand that oil and gas, like Europe's reliance on Russian oil and gas, and the fact that Russia was using their reliance on oil and gas, or presuming that they could control them with that, and then when it turned out not to be the case, people are like, all right, we're going to have a rough winter, but better that than siding with the fucking new Nazis on the block.
But nevertheless, it can't be positive. Why?
All right, sure.
Why would you want a forever war? Is there?
You don't. Nobody does. That was that dude's fucking opinion, and it's lunacy.
Anybody that benefits from a forever war, then
Yes, you, Russell. Because a forever war, I got news for you, never results in that firing of nuclear missiles you're talking about, because that'll bring everything to an end, won't it? A forever war is the low rumble below that happens all the fucking time. And the Russians have been doing this in the Donbass and in Chechnya and in Georgia and Armenia on the border with Azerbaijan and in Syria and like through parts of Kazakhstan. They fucking sent troops into Kazakhstan to stabilize the government there before they did this shit, because they didn't want that overthrown on their back door while they were attacking this country.
we can have a clearer perspective, can't we? If we know that there are some people that benefit from a forever war, we can
Oh, nice. There's going to be a Constantine sequel? Great.
include that into our assessment of the situation, right? Should we do that, or should we not do that? Should we?
All right. This like he's just making it up as he goes along. We're watching a human being completely incapable intellectually of discussing the topics he's using for his video. He just literally is not capable of filtering reality, logic, normalcy through whatever porous fucking material he has posing as a brain in his skull.
Pretend that no one does benefit. The Ukrainian news outlet,
By the way, and he's jumping the fuck everywhere.
Ukrainska Pravda, reported that British Prime Minister Boris Johnson used his surprise visit to Kiev, surprise, in April to pressure President Zelensky to cut off peace negotiations with Russia, even after two sides appeared to have made tenuous progress toward a settlement to end the war.
Even after the two sides had appeared to have made tenuous progress, they fucking poisoned two members of the team. They didn't have to be talked into this.
Pravda's reporting, along with the public statements of Johnson and other
Hold on. Let's see if this is Common Dreams is Ukrainska, and they publish. Hold on one second. I got to check and make sure the title is the same.
settlement to end the war. Russia, even after two sides pressure, President Johnson used his
Ukrainska Pravda. They're spelling it with a Y. Might just be a factor of this. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah. Transitions are good. Hold on. Wait. 1 second. He's convinced to Pravda. Author, you might have read. Pravda, history of the king, but and so obviously versions personal cars are well, they spell it differently, but let's bring this over here. There you go. This is Ukrainska Pravda. Journalists fight on their own front line. These are these folks, whatever. I'm curious if this is the same, because there's a version that's spelled with a Y that might be different than this. So anyways, 99% of bodies exhumed in Izium have signs of violent death. Kharkiv Oblast military says Russia repeats its Bucha crimes in Izium. Zelensky, 7 Sri Lankan citizens who've been held by the invaders since March have been rescued in the Kharkiv region, says Zelensky. Energoatom delivers 25 trucks with spare parts, chemicals, and fuels to the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. Deputy puppet governor of Berdyansk killed along with his wife, responsible for preparations of referendum. Really? Yipes. Explosion kills prosecutor general in Luhansk. These are all the Russians that are there. That's from Russian media. Not seen, not agreed. Putin comments on possible meeting with Zelensky on the draft security guarantees. Let's see. Not seen, not agreed. Okay. Not seen. Get it. Russian President Vladimir Putin speaking at a press conference following his visit to Uzbekistan for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit said the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has no desire to meet with him and noted that he had not seen any proposals on security guarantees for Ukraine. What, from his own people? The first condition for the meeting to take place is that Ukraine agree, but they refuse. Zelensky has announced this. He said publicly, I don't know where, but publicly he's not ready and does not want to talk to Russia. At the time, Putin mentioned, look at this, he's like, all right, what's the ad? The ad buys on Ukraina Pravda, Adam and Eve, good stuff. At the same time, they've obviously been hearing me talk. I don't even know. I'm curious about what that does now. Air-powered stimulation, that concerns me. All right. Russia allegedly negotiated security guarantees in the form of a draft Istanbul agreement discussed in March 22. He claims this was why Russia pulled out its troops from Kiev. Yeah, that's why. In order to create the conditions concluding this agreement. And Common Dreams. I want to see what this is. Boris Johnson pressured Zelensky. Let's look at their article real quick. Boris Johnson pressured. Let's see. Boris Johnson. Okay, this is Common Dreams. This is from May. There. Okay. Common Dreams. Boris Johnson pressured Zelensky to ditch peace talks with Russia. Ukrainian paper. The British government is coming to an obstacle to peace in Ukraine. Said stop the war coalition. The conflict there is developing into a proxy war between Russia and NATO. Yeah, this is the same shit. Jake Johnson is telling these stories. Let's take a look at Jake Johnson's stories on this. Staff writer. This is about corruption fury as Senate poised to delay antitrust vote. Chicken shit watchdogs criticize Biden's DOJ's new corporate crime plan. Cave means grave. Jan 6 shows Oath Keepers emboldened by Trump tweet. Senate Democrats delay same-sex vote until after the midterms. Rail unions stress tentative deal must still win approval from rank and file. Yeah. That's fraud. Explosive docs reveal depth of climate lies by big oil ahead of House hearing. Tentative deal between unions. Okay, we've seen the same one. Bernie Sanders to Warren Buffett. Give rail workers better conditions. Avoid strike. President Obama. There you go. Obama's coddling of Saudi Arabia. Goldman Sachs versus Democracy Spring. Hillary's right. Bernie Sanders isn't a mainstream Democrat. Here's why that's a good thing. This is 2016. So he doesn't write a bunch in this thing. So he's been writing. When did he start? Back here, 22nd. So he only shows up sort of around elections writing for Common Dreams, or did he went to school and came back? But let's see. Let's go back to this. Even after two sides appear to have made tenuous progress, this is the open link in new tab. Citing unnamed sources with Zelensky's inner circle advisor team, Pravda reported. Open link in new tab. Let's give it a shot. Ukraine's probably the peace talks with Russia are the story of how Ukraine has gone from despair to realizing its own strength in the circle of allies over 70 days of full-scale war. If on the first day of the war we had been allowed to sign a version of the peace agreement like the one we have now, we would have done it without a second thought. But now the agreement seems too much of a compromise for our side, member of Zelensky's inner circle. It's obvious that public recognition of such scenarios would be too brave. Zelensky's belief is the compound of two major changes in global politics. First, the myth of the power of Vladimir Putin. His army is gradually being crushed in the outskirts of Irpin and Rubizhine. Secondly, the isolationism of the West and its reluctance to help Ukraine have been finally buried in the mass graves of Bucha, Berdyansk, and Mariupol. Vladimir Putin had to conquer Ukraine in 72 hours. Ukraine only had one option: to surrender. These two simple sentences sum up the starting point of the Russia-Ukraine war, accordingly, the peace talks. For those who doubt their veracity, it should be clarified that it is our partners from the West, not the Kremlin, who reported this scenario for Kiev and Zelensky. So you understand, Zelensky received the first offer to leave Ukraine and form a government in exile before the full-scale war. This offer was sincerely made to the president during the Munich conference, and they said it was better for Zelensky not to return to Ukraine. A member of the delegation in Munich told them, because they thought that they were just going to bomb they were going to decapitate the city. That was the intel everybody had, was that they were going to blow up Kiev and just wipe everybody out, including him. Zelensky was asked to choose either Warsaw or London. I had breakfast in Ukraine this morning, and I will have dinner in Ukraine. Remember that, I don't need a ride. I need ammunition, right? First, we did not know the exact plans of the Russian Federation, but when we seized the staff documents from dead Russian commanders near Kiev, we understood everything. It was all noted there. When and where the particular group should be, and elite paratroopers had to clear the government quarter in Kiev within 72 hours. And by the way, if you could get them out for 72 hours and they failed, you could bring them back in. That's what the West was saying. Clear them first. One day passed, second day passed, eventually third day, Istanbul peace. The first phase of Putin's plan failed, and the blitzkrieg by the world's second greatest army failed, but Russia's president still believed he had enough strength to force Ukraine to surrender during the talks. The leader of the Ukrainian negotiation team said in an interview, Zelensky's first task was to give the Russians the impression that Ukraine was ready to negotiate. Task was set, blah, blah, blah. Russians came to the first round of talks not to talk, but to formalize Ukraine's surrender. To cut a long story short, the essence of that agreement, David has it somewhere, is that we, Ukraine, are just giving up, and denazification and the rest of the Russia side's demand are on the top of all that, said one member of the delegation. It's clear the delegation had neither the power nor the authority to comply with such demands, especially since the instructions they had been given by the president were totally different. Our delegation went to the first meeting on 28 February with instructions that clearly stated that Russia must return to the borders of 23 February. That is no new occupation, withdrawal of troops, and so on, says one of the leading members of Zelensky's team who was involved in preparing for the negotiations. And this was the secondary attack. This is where they were, I think. I want to say, Russian-controlled territory. They had all this shit. We watched all this play out. And then Boris, where's the part in this? It's got to be later. Here it is. Boris Johnson or put pressure on Putin. The Russian side, no matter what anyone says, can read signals and was actually ready for the Zelensky-Putin meeting. But two things happened. After which Mikhailo Podolyak, a member of the Ukrainian delegation, had to openly admit that this was not the time for a meeting between the presidents. First thing was the revelation of atrocities, rapes, murders, massacres, looting, indiscriminate bombings, and hundreds and thousands of other war crimes committed by Russian troops in the temporary occupied Ukrainian territories. How and what can we talk about with Putin if we cannot talk about Bucha, Irpin, Berdyansk, Azovstal? The moral gap, the gap in values between Putin and the rest of the world is so huge that even the Kremlin doesn't have long enough negotiating table to cover it. The second, much more unexpected obstacle to agreements with the Russians arrived in Kiev on the 9th. Here you go. Johnson brought two simple messages to Kiev. The first is that Putin is a war criminal. He should be pressured, not negotiated with. And the second is that even if Ukraine is ready to sign some agreements or guarantees with Putin, they are not. They are not. The British. We can sign an agreement with you, Ukraine, but not with him. Anyway, he will screw everyone over, is how one of Zelensky's close associates summed up the essence of Johnson's visit. Behind the visit, in Johnson's words, there is much more than a simple reluctance to get involved in agreements with Russia. Johnson's position was that the collective West, which back in February had suggested Zelensky should surrender and flee, now felt that Putin was not really as powerful as previously had been imagined. Moreover, there's a chance to press him, and the West wants to use it.
Surprise visit to Kiev. Surprise! In April to pressure
What a douchebag.
President Zelensky to cut off peace negotiations with...
Yeah, peace negotiations. He's like, but we're this close to peace. No, cut them off. No, we're not doing that. We can't.
Russia, even after two sides appeared to have made tenuous progress toward a settlement to end
No, they didn't.
the war. Pravda's reporting, along with the public statement,
They made tenuous progress, but they couldn't bring up any of the rapes and murders. That was one of the sticking points.
of Johnson and other Western leaders heightened long-standing concerns that the global powers are actively dashing the chances of a diplomatic resolution to Russia's war. The British government has become an obstacle to peace in Ukraine by encouraging the continuation of the war through huge arms shipments and incendiary rhetoric, said Lindsay German, convener of the UK-based Stop the War Coalition.
Yes, the Stop the War Coalition. In the coalition, are there any Russians? No? Weird.
Those bastards, we can't trust the Stop the War Coalition. Who knows?
Yes, nobody ever uses an ironic name in those situations. Next thing you'll tell me that what was his name? What was the Florida congressperson who was on the Missing and Exploited Children's committee was exploiting children?
Who knows what their motives are? Well, we just come together to stop wars. Yeah, you say that. What are you going to use? Mostly arms shipments and incendiary rhetoric? They wouldn't, would they? The US government has pumped more money and weapons into supporting the Ukrainian military than it sent in 2020 to Afghanistan, Israel, and Egypt combined.
Yeah, that was during COVID. Also, Israel doesn't need that many arms. Neither does Egypt. And Afghanistan, we were in the process, in theory, of getting out.
Surpassing.
Why would we send more shit? Why don't you just include every other country on Earth?
In a matter of months, three of the largest recipients of US military aid in history.
Surpassing in a matter of months three of the largest recipients of U.S. military aid in history. Maybe over the course of their existence.
Just to be clear, in case the algorithm turns against me, and because it's necessary to say so for...
I hope the Ukrainians get curb stomped by Vladimir Putin. I'm kidding. Or am I?
Moral reasons. I'm not saying that war's a good thing, or that...
Oh, really? It sounds like you're saying just let it fucking happen and don't get involved. If it happens someplace and you can help, you can save some lives or protect some people, don't do it. If there's a bigger, it's like natural selection. Just pretend you're shooting a nature documentary and you just have to watch the alligator eat the cat.
That Vladimir Putin and his imperialist plans are anything other than nefarious. Putin, I don't know anything about him, but I...
Is there a person on this planet that doesn't know anything about Vladimir Putin right now? You don't know anything about him? You don't know that he was former KGB? You don't know that he won't be going to Mikhail Gorbachev's funeral because Gorbachev represented the exact opposite of what he wants to do?
I assume he's like a despotic former KGB leader of the former Soviet Union, has his own agenda, his own objectives.
Where would you get that idea?
And I imagine if I knew more about them, I would agree that they are tyrannical.
If I cared to look. But the important thing is that I'm busy shitting on America for helping. I can't... My problem was with Batman. If I heard about the Joker and the fact that he gassed an entire city and killed a bunch of people and was a domestic abuser in his relationship and committed multiple rapes and murders, I'd probably not like him. But my question is even though the Joker is out there and he's killing people, and if he knows who you are and you try to fight him, he'll kill your whole family, why won't Batman take his mask off?
All of those things, let's take that as read. The mainstream media...
Let's just take it as read. No, let's take it as you refuse to read. That's what I'm taking it as.
Yeah, doing a pretty good job, I understand.
Bain was an idiot.
And of reporting on that. What's not being reported on...
Johnny Rotten interview I sent you where Johnny dumps on Russell Brand? No, but I would love... I'll watch it, Robert. Did you tweet it to me? I'll look at it. Thank you for the super chat, by the way.
It seems, though, is that the State Department have stopped revealing how much money they're spending.
Hooker is a better price than AIN at $4.99. Thanks, Bald Thanos.
No one's telling you the extent of public expenditure that ends up in the hands of military contractors. No one's
They don't end up in the hands of military contractors. They're ending up in the hands of Ukrainian forces fighting Russia.
Making super clear that all of a sudden...
What are you pointing at, you prick?
Ukraine is getting more money than Israel, Egypt, and Afghanistan.
In 1 year. In one particular year. and that particular year was during COVID, while we were in the process of leaving Afghanistan, and there wasn't a hot war between Egypt and fucking Israel. What?
And no one is making it clear enough that Boris Johnson pressured Zelensky.
He didn't pressure him. He was realistic about the fact that England is not going to sign on to a deal with Russia. You might do it. You might have to do it. You might feel like you have to do it. We're not going to do it because the dude's he murdered someone in England. He had a dissident snuffed miles from your house, Russell. Fucking hell.
Into prolonging this war. I'm sure there's a counter narrative. Oh, he's doing it for the right reasons or whatever. I don't know.
I don't care. I'm busy shitting on the United States and making up a narrative that the Illuminati is controlling you through Pfizer, and there's probably something in the vaccine tracking you right now.
No, you let me know in the comments below. But just letting you know that we're not naive.
Who's we, motherfucker? You are.
To Putin's malfeasance.
Yeah, you are. You just said, I don't know anything about him. If I did know about him, I probably wouldn't like it. Maybe. I don't know.
Up to half of the $14 trillion spent by the Pentagon since 9/11 went to for-profit defense contractors.
Okay. That's like Boeing. Beyond the fact, like, he's making, like, we spent $7 trillion on Blackwater.
There's a study found. That's trillion. That's that number trillion. That's so many zeros. I can't even imagine them in my mind. But
here, I'll help you. $5 trillion worth of currency exchange goes through Goldman Sachs computers every 24 hours.
As you remember, around the time of 9/11,
we're almost done with this, I think.
None of the
By the way, has this asshole said anything useful about Ukraine this entire time?
people that are in government then had associations or connections to military-industrial complex. There were no shady characters, no shady deals, no confusing contradictions in that narrative. So this $14 trillion, half of which going to defense contractors, that's not like so soldiers can have comfy pillows and nice boots. That's so billionaires can, I don't know.
First of all, private contractors make the boots. Because setting up a factory to make soldier boots is not something that is financially feasible for any major country. Like, battleships are technically made by contractors.
I don't know what they get up to. It's presumably quite good fun. So there we go. We have...
What do you mean, there we go?
An energy crisis.
Did he address that at all? At all? Did he address, quote, the energy crisis? What does he even define? Did he even define what the energy crisis is? That the prices are going up? Is it a crisis to pay more for something so that you're not morally supporting violence against civilians? Is that a crisis? Or is that just a challenge you take on purpose?
We have an ongoing war that could have been prevented.
How? No, we don't. Where the fuck? What the fuck are you talking about? How could it have been prevented? Where was that established? His assumption that Zelensky was close to having a peace treaty and Boris Johnson fucked it up is stupid to begin with. But it at least makes at least admit that you were halfway through. You know, they were like 3 months in at this point. Where was the prevention part? What do you mean, the last 4 months of the 7-month war?
We have people in charge that are willing to destroy the planet in order...
More money goes through BlackRock every hour than Goldman Sachs. That's true, Balthanos.
To sort of look cool and hard. Is this exactly what you want? Do you think we're on track to find a peaceful solution in Ukraine? Do you think...
Who's we, motherfucker? Yeah, we're on track. We're helping them drive the Russians out. That's how it's happening. And our dear friend Malcolm Nance will be over there. Hold on. Oh, good Lord. Our dear friend Malcolm Nance will be on. Will be helping these guys rest in peace. How about that?
The right politicians, the right diplomats, the right mentality are all in place for a peaceful resolution? Do you think the current energy crisis is going to be brought to a halt? Or, riddle me this, is this energy crisis beneficial to some powerful interests in the world?
Again, he has to define what he means by crisis. The price going up or the price coming down? The unavailability of Russian and oil and gas? Europe no longer finding that as a primary source. Obviously, the Norwegians, the Swedish, the Finnish don't have the same problem. The Polish don't.
Could this crisis be used to introduce more regulation to shut down dissidents? You tell me.
More regulations to shut down dissidents?
You let me know in the comments.
Oh my God. This again, it's exit through the fucking gift shop with this asshole every time. Let me be abundantly clear. What you heard in this video was blather for one, and a bunch of sort of like pseudo sarcasm passing itself off as jokes. But the other thing is you just saw an ignorant man repeating talking points that are dismissive of violent, horrifying realities that human beings are going through, as if it's, I don't know, maybe it's a thing, blah, 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 and attacking the very side that is trying to help those people because he somehow, that's his mission. And the way he does it is by making these kind of makes you think statements without any follow-up on any of it. There were 3 promises in this. All of them were shortchanged, I feel. And the beginning of the video being called Russell Brand on Ukraine war is in and of itself fucking disgusting. I don't need to finish out with him saying, fucking like and subscribe or some dumb shit like that. I'm aggravated. I am now aggravated. It's true. Can we go something silly at least? Can I do a palate cleanser? Whew. You're watching HAL Sparks Mega Worldwide. They post the clips. I do the whole fucking thing. It's what I do. I do the whole thing. They put it up. I do the whole thing. So people can't tell me that I cut people out of context. Right? Alex Jones before indictment equals Russell. Yeah, well, he's hippie Alex Jones. That's what he's shooting for. Russell Brand is trying to be hippie Alex Jones. A lot of people are trying to move in for the Alex Jones money at this point. For the record, there were all signs pointed to at a certain point that Joe Rogan was lining himself up to kind of go for that. I mean, he's even in Texas too. But he got bigger financially than Alex Jones in a short time and didn't need to do it. That's the only thing. Yeah. So here we go. I want to, speaking of stupid, I'm very excited. So, there's a lot of stuff that, the mess does in talking about the election and all that stuff. And we've covered multiple times. But his ignorance on the Mar-a-Lago search and seizure warrant at least on Twitter, has been breathtaking. And this is a follow-up to that. Update to the Mar-a-Lago raid. The Biden administration is trying to criminalize a civil matter. Are they? Oh, boy.
Trump's attorney.
Hold on, I've got to back this up. Trump's what?
Donald Trump's attorneys have filed a document.
Really? That's being generous.
In the
court?
Southern District of Florida. This is the West Palm Beach Division. This is before Judge Eileen Cannon.
What a weird choice.
This is in the matter of the Mar-a-Lago raid.
You mean the search of Mar-a-Lago and seizure of government documents?
So to bring you up to speed...
Yeah, I've been paying attention to this. Fill us in.
Judge Cannon has ordered the appointment of a special master. The special master is a kind of third party, a
kind of third party.
Neutral guy.
A neutral guy. He's smooth in the front, like a Ken doll.
To review all the documents seized by the...
No. To review all the documents that are personal to Trump, that are not government documents.
FBI and by the Biden DOJ. And the idea is that the special master will decide which of those documents can be retained by the government, which of those documents have to be returned to Trump. Basically, Judge Cannon says, I don't trust the Biden DOJ to...
Gee, she wouldn't happen to be a Trump appointee, would she?
...perform this task fairly. Now, the Biden people are fighting this bitterly.
Yes, they're very upset. You can hear their stomachs churning from here. It's terrible. I don't even know. Like, I don't think they've slept in days.
Threatening to appeal, which of course is their right, but good luck. First of all, they'd be appealing to an appellate court that is majority Republican.
Right, which you can't expect justice on that. It's obviously going to be, if a Democrat is appealing something, a majority Republican circuit court would obviously side against the Constitution and for Republicans. That's why you put judges on a fucking panel. Am I right? What's up?
And even if they appeal that, it's going to go to the Supreme Court. So good luck, guys. Knock yourselves out with the appeal. But even as they are threatening to appeal, they do have to fight it out before Judge Cannon. Now they're trying to say, the Biden administration, that the special master can
oh, God, I'm already bored.
Review the documents, but should not have access to any of the classified documents.
Right.
And who gets to determine what's a classified document?
The person who put it in the folder that says fucking classified on it.
The Biden DOJ goes, well, we do. So we will designate all these documents as classified. We will separate them out. We will give the rest of the documents to the special master. And the Trump people are say that's ridiculous. First of all, the issue of whether a document is classified or declassified, and by the way, a document can be originally classified but then have been declassified either by Trump or through a declassification process.
They weren't.
The Trump attorneys go, it's not been determined what is and is not classified. They don't, meaning the Biden DOJ doesn't get to say, we've classified all these documents in our opinion. We think that they're all...
No, they're already classified. The impetus would be on Trump, since he was actually fucking president at one point, to point to a piece of paper or some sort of indication that says these documents were actually declassified. But since he's a loser who doesn't do his homework,
classified. So none of these go to the special master. The Trump people say, and this seems reasonable, all the documents should go to the special master. The special master gets to decide and separate out basically what documents go into what pile.
Okay.
But as the Trump lawyers make their case, they lay out a bunch of interesting stuff that I think...
Ooh, very exciting. What? The interesting stuff. This is, and I'm sure it's going to be, we're all going to be shocked and amazed. This is a 5-minute video.
I think is worth thinking about. First of all,
but yes, you think they're worth thinking about it. Well, let me think about that for a second. Yep.
They call this whole thing a, quote, document storage dispute that has spiraled out of control.
I'm sorry, who was in charge of the plane as it started to spiral?
And I think what they mean by out of control is that the Biden people are out of control.
Or that Trump realizes he put Kash Patel and some other people in charge of this, and he's going to throw them under the bus, and this is not a big thing, and they should have talked to the thing, and this should have been a thing.
Trump, it turns out, at least this is the contention of...
is an idiot.
The Trump team has every right to access to all, and I emphasize all, his own personal and professional records during his term in office.
No, he doesn't. No, they are government property. That's what the Presidential Records Act was about specifically. This was asked and answered after Nixon.
In other words, there's no such thing as
the Presidential Records Act?
Classified document to which Trump himself has no access.
Yes, there is. He's lost his clearance, and just because he saw something doesn't mean he gets to keep it.
Trump has access to all of it.
No. He can, if he wants to go to NARA and sit down and sift through shit, he's allowed. Now, give it a shot. Like this motherfucker's going to read anything. He can't keep it if it's classified at Mar-a-Lago, where other people have access to it. I don't care how much fucking magic powers he has to declassify stuff, or even in his own mind go, while I'm reading it, it's declassified. And then as soon as I put it back down, it's classified again.
As long as it was in his administration, as long as it was under his purview, he has a right to access
No, he doesn't.
it. Now, it doesn't mean that the documents can't be stored with the archives, or it doesn't mean that the documents can't be kept with the government.
You mean it doesn't mean that they aren't the kind of documents that aren't supposed to be anywhere but in the National Archives or safely filed away secretly. What you're trying to say as a moron is that it's not to say that these documents aren't illegally in the fucking wind. Trump can look at them. The problem is that they're in a place where he's gone for months at a time and they're in a storage room with a cheese ball lock on it that fucking anybody can get to.
But even if they were kept with the government, Trump would still have access to them.
Yes, if he ever wanted to read, which he will not do. So what's the big deal then about giving them back? What was the big fight about giving them back then? He can look at them anytime he wants to, and they'll give him a copy if they're declassified and it's safe to have them out to put in the Trump library. It's going to be an app, right?
The idea of where documents are stored and who should be storing them. In other words, are the documents personal and should therefore be stored with Trump, or are they professional or presidential, and should they be stored with the
or classified, top secret, or above top secret, or special compartmentalized information?
National Archives. This is determined by something called the Presidential Records Act, otherwise known as the PRA.
Oh, thank you. I thought that was mistaken. I thought that was the Chinese Army.
Now, the PRA is simply a way of specifying where the document should be located.
No, that's for the regular. That has nothing to do with the classified shit. That's just the regular shit he took. The classified stuff that isn't declassified, that he took out of there and lied about declassifying, that he was handed back. They handed back stuff in a fucking red envelope because they knew it was actually classified. He's never made an argument in court that he declassified any of this shit. His attorneys won't do it. Because he'll go to fucking jail. They'll lose their license if they do.
Not who has access to them. Trump has access to them no matter what.
No. He can have his clearance checked out.
But because this is a law, the Presidential Records Act, about document storage, it is a purely civil matter.
No, it isn't. Not when it comes to classified documents, fucko.
In other words, there is a process of negotiation that goes back and forth between the National Archives and Records Administration, the so-called NARA, and presidents to determine exactly how these documents are separated out. There's absolutely no provision in this law for criminal penalties. In other words, it's not a crime for a document to be in the wrong place. It's simply a matter of a back and forth process of consult.
Yeah, well, we're talking about above top secret classified documents, fucko.
With regard,
honest to God, I don't give a shit about his Kim Jong-un letters. They go to NARA, they give him a copy, he puts it in his fucking library. Who goddamn cares? That's not the concern. The concern is that he took classified, top secret, and possibly compromising material on our national security and the leadership and abilities of other countries that we are allied with, while he himself is allied with some fucked up people.
To where the documents are ultimately delivered. And so I think what the Trump lawyers are saying
is we give up?
And this would hardly be new, that the Democrats and the Biden administration are trying to criminalize what is essentially a civil matter.
That's it. That's his whole fucking argument. Woof. I was right. Yep. At least I will give Dinesh points on one thing. He was just as stupid as Russell Brand but there was a brevity factor. I appreciate that. If you're gonna, Russell, if you're gonna be as fucking dumb as you are, can you shorten your shit a little bit? I mean, you're not adding anything by making your videos 10, 12 minutes long. I mean, I'm sure there's more money to be made in a 7 or 5 minute video, and you can be just as stupid. Look, actually, call Dinesh. Ask, maybe he'll give you a class. All right, now, part of the ongoing story. I know I'm going to go a little bit late tonight, but I got to do this. We'll see. I think this is, let me see if this is the right one first. Yes. So, the ongoing Hardee's saga. 2 chapters. This one, first, we have heard about Dr. Frank. Dr. Frank is the guy with the algorithm that doesn't work. The guy who has the magic equation that can tell you in all 50 states, in almost every county, exactly how the vote was going to play out based on the numbers going in, because they had figured out a way to hack the computers and guarantee a certain win. Now, you have to change it in every state, and the input has to change entirely, but it's still an algorithm. Just call it. The algorithm sounds good. In this particular instance, they got Dr. Frank's phone. Hold on. Whoops, I got to turn this on.
And his name is Dr. Doug Frank. Dr. Doug, welcome back to Lindell TV and Brandon House Live.
Good to be with you, Brandon.
Oh my God, why is he so loud compared to Brandon? Also, that's Dr. Frank? I'm sorry. If that man puts on a rubber glove, I'm out.
And I always keep my promises, especially to you.
Well,
I promised I would wear my desecration of the American flag shirt.
I was talking to Sidney Powell earlier tonight.
Oh, okay, so basically your night can't get worse.
She said, did you hear what something happened to Doug Frank? And I said, yes. So it's getting out there. It's getting out.
Yes, out into the world. If Sidney Powell knows about this, then she's the last person on earth I think would, she was there?
Out there. But this is your first interview on it?
Well, he saved it. You know, he's not going to, you don't think he's just going to race over and do his 60-minute interview? Brandon, you're special, dude.
Yes. The Washington Post also put something up about it. Kurt was saying, Kurt Olson was saying.
Yeah, that's not an interview, dummy.
And it's the biggest story out there, the fact that the FBI is seizing our phones.
Yeah.
So, so that's good. The beautiful.
It's not. I got news for you. It is not the biggest story out there. The biggest story out there, I would argue, is Russia getting its ass handed to it.
Irony of it is when the FBI guys took my phone, they said that they were going to take a forensic image of it and then give it back to me. and I just thought, do you guys know what a forensic image is? And so we had a great conversation, and I got
good guys. These were all good guys, and they, and then I stood there and I was eating my Hardee's, and I was like, do you guys just stake out Hardee's looking for election deniers who steal software?
I explained to him what the case was about and everything. It was pretty fun.
All right, so let's explain what happened. You fly into Ohio where you live. You get off the airplane, and what happened? This was last night. This all happened last night, by the way.
Yeah, last night, pretty late, like maybe 10:30, something like that, Cincinnati time. So the first thing I did when I got off the plane is I went to the potty, because that's what you do.
No. As an adult, you go to the bathroom. Toddlers go to the potty, and if you use the word potty as a grown person, you creep me out. You just straight up creep me out.
Yeah, because you don't want to use those bathroom planes.
You mean those airplane bathrooms? They don't have bathroom planes. Shit airlines isn't a thing, Brandon.
Those the bathrooms in the planes.
Right. Important to clarify. Thanks very much. I was totally confused.
I don't know. I quit flying in 2005, but I never used them. But I'm with you. You don't use them.
I know how to use a plane and the potty. Potty, everybody potty. I know how to potty on the potty. Hi. Hello. Did someone say potty?
Disembark and you head to the John.
Yes, and
Who's John? Somebody said they're gonna be the potty.
I took care of
potty people in the house say Party people.
And then I came out and then as soon as I came out of the bathroom and started walking down the hallway,
You realized you had toilet paper on your shoe?
Gentlemen started walking towards me and
So they're gentlemen, and you can tell because they had top hats and canes, and you could hear the faint whispers of Putting on the Ritz playing in the background.
Suits, and they were looking right at me.
Well, I would look right at you too, and I would go, "Stranger danger!"
And I was smiling.
That's one of the reasons why I would go, "Stranger danger!"
I started smiling because I knew who they had to be. They had to be two FBI.
Now, why did you think that, Doug?
Because no one else in Cincinnati Airport wears a suit at 10:30 at night.
Well, because I knew that they'd taken Mike's phone.
And not only did they take Mike's phone, they asked about you.
Exactly. I caught part of your interview with Mike last night. I was getting onto the plane. It's like,
yeah, the irony. Think of it as foreshadowing.
I couldn't listen to the whole thing, but I heard him talking about it, and he was so flattering to me too. I love Mike. What a sweetheart.
He's a good person, except when he's mean to FBI agents and people at Hardee's.
But I travel the country all the time, so.
Well, that's what fugitives do.
I'm pretty easy to track for the FBI guys because, if I was going to try to capture Doug Frank, what would I do? I'd meet him at the plane. What can they do?
Well, that way they don't have to go to your home party.
Coming right out of the airplane in a confined space in the airport is a pretty easy way to get me. So anyway, as soon as I saw them, I grinned, and they grinned back at me.
That seems friendly.
So it was one of these, I know why you're here. I know you know why I'm here. It was obvious, right?
So,
no, I don't know what you mean.
Who
I
spoke first?
Right up to him.
Who spoke first? He spoke first. He goes like, "Ow," and they were like, "Hey," and he was like, "Oh."
Looked them dead in the eye, shook their hands, and introduced myself.
So that was, "Hi, I'm Doug Frank." That's like you're running for office. And they shook your hand back and said, "What? We're at the FBI?"
Yeah, tell us a story. I'm gonna get comfortable.
Yeah, of course.
That'll be a good story.
Yes, we need to talk to you. Can we take you aside for a minute? And I said,
I'm going to sleep.
I said, well, sure. Where do you want to do it? Because it was obvious what it was about. And in fact, I think I said something.
You didn't invite them into the party with you.
Expecting to meet you guys, and they said back to me, "Yeah, we figured you might be expecting it." So it was cordial and.
Wow, you guys really know how to party.
We had a chuckle out of it because obviously that's where things were going to go.
Yeah.
And so
yeah, it wasn't nasty, in other words.
They were.
Wait, so you weren't in the party?
Nice.
Yeah, two nice guys. And I even told them, I said, "You guys were really friendly." I said, "I'll make sure to tell everybody that, you treated me fair and nice and politely." And they said, "Oh, and include handsome too." So
So they had a little bit of a sense of humor too, huh?
Well, I don't think they were kidding. They probably were a handsome man.
Yeah, exactly.
How old were the guys? How old were they?
What's that?
Yes. Why you want all their personal information?
How old were they, you think?
And it was like they're maybe 35, 40 years old,
they're
something like that.
Young guys. Okay.
A couple of nice guys. And
do you like young people? I gotta go.
They served me the warrant, which allowed them to search my person.
You bring a person with you everywhere? You must be rich.
But
hello, welcome. Hi, Mr. FBI man. You can search my person. His name is Glenn. Hi, Glenn. They're gonna search you now.
But they didn't.
But just you're my person.
Need to search my person because they just said, "Well, we need your cell phone. Can we have it?" And if I had said no, they could have said, "Well, we're gonna take it from you." But I was fully cooperative with them. There's no reason.
You didn't yell at them in a Hardee's parking lot? What kind of patriot are you?
To fight these guys, they're obviously just doing their job. They've received the federal warrant.
You should tell this to Michael Lindell.
For that, and so they're just, their Cincinnati field office. They're just doing their job. Why would I make it hard for them?
Yeah, they've already had a tough time. Some nutcase showed up at their place of business with a nail gun and a gun.
Yeah,
They've had enough problems.
I don't want to make it trouble for me either, right? So,
right. I didn't know you were Italian. I don't want to make a trouble.
So you pulled out your flip phone and handed it to him?
Yeah, and then they looked at it and they started.
You notice I said flip phone. You don't have a flip phone, do you?
No, I've got this kind of phone here.
Okay, well, I talked to
Wait a minute. So you didn't give him your phone?
Colonel John Mills tonight. He actually still uses a flip phone.
Yeah, I hear that. He doesn't want the smartphone. He wants it to be as dumb as possible. Just call.
Oh, well, then why don't you just have Gwen and feel all of his calls?
Call the tower and that's it.
Yep.
I can relate.
Me too. What? All right, so that's chapter 1 of Lindell TV, and the follow-up. Now I got to find this. Hold on one second, because hold on. Got to open this up. There we go. Lindell TV, Frank clips, because hold on. I think this is the one. Yeah. So he's in the car. Hold on. Yeah. So this is newer. Hold on. So let me show you this real quick. So this is not, obviously somebody's been watching Glenn Beck's show too. And Brandon's got these 2 screens up and this the little room, and there's the dog. Look at dog on the dog bed, and he does the show from his garage or whatever the fuck. And Lindell calls in. This is relatively short. Lindell calls in for an update about the FBI.
News. Mike, thanks for joining us here on the VCY America Radio Network and on
the VCY America Network. Very, very crimey.
On Lindell TV.
From his fucking car.
Well, thanks, Brandon. Yeah, I'm on the move again.
Jesus Christ. Do you guys not modulate the guest's volume at all?
And I just spoke here in Council Bluffs, Iowa last night to 8,000 people, and I'm heading to Idaho to do a speech there. And tomorrow, everybody, at the Ohio rally, our real President Donald Trump, they're having me do an outside show, a 2-hour show myself.
Oh, yeah. So he's going to be late, is what you're telling me?
I don't know if I can talk for 2 hours, Brandon.
Oh, I think you can.
But
as long as nobody has a tangerine.
Breaking news, everybody. On Tuesday morning, we are going to file a lawsuit against the United States government and the FBI.
Wow, so exciting. Is that like your the other law thing that you filed, that the thing in Georgia, or the other one with the, remember that thing that worked out really, what you were going to file it was a preliminary injunction on every voting machine in the country. Remember that? Yeah, he's back in the Hardee's drive-thru.
Yes.
It violated my First Amendment right.
Nope.
Freedom of association denied. It's got all the thing here.
Okay, so these are the notes. Wait a minute. Freedom of association? You can't coordinate a crime and say that's a violation. And if they arrest you for meeting to plan a crime, you can't go, I'm allowed to have meetings, Your Honor.
First Amendment right of free speech. But the Fourth Amendment, it says the warrant is even worse than the infamous general warrant that the Fourth Amendment was ratified to prohibit. Cellular telephones can hold far more private communications than would be found in a residence or office.
Yes. You want to go into the fucking Second Amendment and machine guns, dipshit? How about that? Let's relitigate the Second Amendment, that the Founding Fathers had no idea that machine guns would fucking exist. Yes, everything that's been a part of the Constitution, modern life is different than, oh, for fuck's sake.
Government cannot have access to my communications.
Nonsense.
With my attorneys and other information is protected by.
Yeah, but you don't get to hide criminal activity by using the same phone to talk to your attorneys that you coordinate a drug deal or a fucking bank robbery, dipshit. Your Honor, they can't. That phone's got everything on it. It's got my map of how I stalked this woman and that I'm planning on murdering. It's got the plans for the safe and the blueprints for the bank I'm about to rob. But it's got my phone calls to my mother where I threaten her life and admit to murdering one of my siblings years ago. And I talked to my attorney on that thing. It's protected. The fuck?
First Amendment. Also, the Fifth Amendment, they violated so much stuff, Brandon, but these are the big three. The Fifth Amendment, they seizing my phone is effectively seizing my business because
no, it isn't.
Because everything that I do is run through for my business is done through my phone. The government.
Yeah, that's not their fucking problem. I got news for you. If you're a diabetic and you hide a murder weapon in your insulin kit, if you murdered somebody you injected toxins into them, but you kept the murder syringe in your insulin kit, and you go, Your Honor, this is my insulin kit. Without this, I will die. Like, shut the fuck up. How's this? Look, don't get me wrong. I'm glad these attorneys are bilking him out of more money, but
government cannot take my phone, even
yes, they can
temporarily without
yes, they can
without compensating me for the loss of business. And
it's not their fucking problem. Compensating you for the lack of business. You had the woman's IT from your IT department's phone as soon as you got back there.
I lost a lot of business, Brandon. I lost, I lost you guys 4 vendors that were coming to my store now because they are afraid to do business with.
That has nothing to do with the capture your phone. They just realized you're a fucking crook.
Someone that has been accosted by the FBI in a Hardee's drive-thru.
Accosted. Get fucked. That, again, no relation to the fact that he does business on his phone. Losing 4 vendors because they're like, oh, you're a criminally crimey person. I don't want to do business with the criminally crimey person because you're a problem. I don't want to do business. They don't give a shit. If the FBI took your shoes, it wasn't because you're barefoot that they didn't want to do business with you. It's because you're a fucking scumbag.
FBI communicated to companies that I was doing business with in a way that prompted them to terminate the relationship with me and my company, who included negotiations for new business opportunities. They also violated the sixth.
Wait a minute. How the fuck? What do you mean how did they communicate? What, they answer the phone and go, "Hi, this is the FBI. If you're trying to reach Mike Lindell, call his office." What the fuck is he talking about? Hold on.
Relationship with me and my company, who included negotiations for new business opportunities. I communicated to companies that I was doing business with in a way that prompted them to terminate the relationship.
The FBI communicated with them? No, they didn't.
With me and my company, who included negotiations for new business opportunities. They also violated the 6th Amendment. It's going to be quite a lawsuit, and I hope it sets a precedent.
Nope.
So that they quit doing these to us.
Nope.
Quit attacking our citizens, bashing their doors down,
taking their onion rings.
I guess
giving them a napkin and saying, "You've got like cheese in your mustache, sir."
I should feel fortunate I don't have to fix a door, Brandon.
Well, that's true. And we had breaking news last night as well here on Lindell TV. We'll break it here on VCY. He gave us the first interview, Dr. Doug Frank. The FBI agents were asking you about Dr. Doug Frank the day that they stopped you and surrounded you with 3 cars up against a wall at Hardee's.
Up against a wall. Up against the wall. Drop the onion rings and step away. By the way, he got a bacon Swiss. I think that's what he said he ordered. I'll show you in a second.
And now we found out...
And a shake and a bunch of other stuff.
And first interview with Dr. Doug Frank last night that the FBI met him the night before as he was getting off a plane and took his phone as well.
Yeah, it's all of us before we went after the voting machines to get rid of these electronic voting machines and computers. You think of all these people. He was a physicist, helped
He was on the plane with Tina Peters, you fuck.
molested children that Twan, because his IQ, Dr. Franks is off the charts.
Mine is on the charts. It's way at the high end though, but I wouldn't want my IQ to be off the charts. That would point to, you'd have to be insane. That's like Unabomber, Zodiac territory.
All these people I see out there, all these people that are just trying to get rid of these voting machines, get to the bottom of the...
yeah, just trying to get rid of them isn't the thing, man. It's the hacking them, stealing the inner workings of them, violating your oath, sneaking someone into an office that's not clear to be there, using someone else's ID, and then when you get busted for it, fleeing the fucking state and aiding and abetting that person in fleeing the fucking state. This has nothing to do with your political leanings at all.
Everything, and it's just amazing how that government has weaponized the FBI and attacked our citizens. It's like Nazi Germany with the Gestapo.
Fuck you. It's like Nazi Germany with the Gestapo. At this point, I mean, he doesn't give a fuck. They're just gonna, try and get people killed? Is that the goal now? Hold on one second. There's going to be... The fuck? Hold on. Yeah. TV. Lindell report. Is that the newer one? Mike Lindell brings another update on being... Yeah. Let's see if this is the one. It's going to be here.
I said, that's weird. Something's wrong. I could just sense something was wrong. Nobody pulls like that and just stops. And he wasn't even looking at us.
This is the deep dive. We're going to find out what he ordered. Hang on. I'm not going to do all of this one because it's an hour, but I just want to do the part where he talks about the I'm getting this. Yeah, the Nazis would have just fucking killed you, dummy.
And then another car immediately pulled up the side of us and pinned us in here. And then one came right up the drive-through and pinned the back end. And I go to my friend, I go, we got some bad people. Something's going down.
My streetwise sense, my spidey sense started to tingle.
And
thank you, Holly. Hamburger. Thank you guys for using the Venmo. Don't forget you can support the show via Venmo. Real easy. Just take a picture of that with your phone. If you have a Venmo account already, you could just say, "Hey, buy me a coffee." Somebody, and I won't say who because in deference to them, accidentally, very sadly, but true, accidentally sent me a rather large sum of money on Venmo that they were meaning to pay a rather large bill of something else. And I immediately saw it and I was like, I don't think you wanted to do this. So I messaged them back and I was like, I don't think you meant to send this to me. And they're like, oh yeah, sorry, that was my mistake, which is funny. And I was like, he's like, you can keep some of it and just send the rest back. And I was like, nope, I'll just send the whole thing back. If somebody wants to send something to me via Venmo, they can do it actively. But I'm not going to keep any amount of something that somebody sent ever. That's just not how it works. So, but I hope that, my karma points are rock solid for that. So there you go. Could you look up other methods? Venmo is not available outside the US. Oh yes. I have also Cash App, which is, I don't know that that's on here. It's on my other setup. I can put that on here if that works. So, yeah.
I opened the door and I said, who are you people? What do you...
Who are you people?
What do you want? And the one guy says, he opens up his door, he stands out and he goes, we're FBI and we need to talk to you. And I said, I don't believe you. Show me your badges.
And they went, badges? We don't know no stinking badges.
They all showed their badges. Now people are gathered watching this in the parking lot. I have no idea how many FBI were there.
Probably 4 per car. then the snipers, they're probably, you know, blocks away. My question is, did the black helicopter land or did it just hover? Just, sir, we're the FBI. Drop your onion rings and your bacon and Swiss and step away from the 9 dead ducks.
I know some came from Colorado, some from Minnesota, and I'm going, at this random hour and a half, obviously they've been following me for who knows how long.
Yeah, they were just waiting for you to get your, let him get a little bacon and Swiss in him before he...
These subpoenas they gave me are like a week old, so they've obviously been following me for maybe a week. I don't know.
They were waiting for their perfect time to pounce.
They obviously maybe liked watching us go hunting. Who knows? Well, anyway.
Yeah, they're pervy like that. They just watched me. They like seeing me in my little duck blind. That's how you do it. They want to see me in my little duck blind. These kind of guys, they like watching me when I'm hanging out. Just kind of doing my thing. I'm crouching in some woods, in some waders with my shotgun. Flack, flack. And I'm sitting there going like that. And then, which of course makes my mustache jump onto my hand. I'm the only person with a mustache on his duck call. And like that. It's a technique I learned from Dick Cheney.
Anyway, so we
yeah, get on with it.
Pull over there to the side, and
you pull over to the side of the lane of the drive-through that you're in.
There are 3 of them. There are three of the guys FBI surround me there, and the one lady FBI, one of the ladies, she went.
One of the ladies. Oh, there were multiple ladies. So, hello, ladies. You know, I was the FBI in college. Female. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. No. I don't need to file a report. I deserved that. I deserved it.
Talked to my friend, and now they're asking, well, what questions do you have? The first question they're going,
What do you have any questions for us? We're recording this and we think you're fucking hilarious.
Well, what about that evidence you have up on Frank's speech? And
yeah.
That is the 3rd report, the Mesa County report. And
really, they just out of the blue went, I got a couple questions. What about that stuff you got up on the website? Where'd you get that? It couldn't be that you got it from Tina Peters directly after you helped her flee the state, could it? We know it's available all over the internet now, but it depends on where you got it from and who gave it to you.
And
because she's in trouble for that, that's why you're a grand jury witness. But don't trust me, trust my mustache.
What you just seen there where it says inside the machines, everybody. This is what the FBI asked me about.
Yeah, it's the first thing. The other thing, I mean, obviously, after they asked you to put down your bacon and Swiss.
And I said, okay, so, yeah, that's evidence of that Dominion deleted the 2020 election. And, Brandon, what did the lawyer yesterday tell us? There's a couple things. Maybe you have it in your notes.
Yep.
That inside that image. What did our lawyers say?
Yeah.
That they...
Hold on, I need a better mustache. Give me 1 second. How about that? Fantastic. I think it's better for a Minnesota-type fella like me. God damn it. I ain't got time to bleed. That's how I'm going to do this. And you guys are going to have to deal with it.
That the FBI should have known.
Tell them what the FBI said.
About that.
Well, his response to me yesterday was this.
That's weird. That guy's still got his goddamn phone. How come they haven't taken his phone yet? He doesn't have the same kind of information contacts that he's got for you. Come on.
The warrant and subpoenas are out of federal court in Colorado.
That's where Tina Peters was. We'll figure it out. We know what goddamn jurisdiction is.
Investigation of the Mesa image. The reports show Dominion overwrote the operating system on the EMS, destroying all log files and actual ballot manipulation inside the machine.
Says fucking you. They backed up the goddamn things within 90 days. That's the rule. And it's on there. And you can file to see it if you have the right to look. But you can't look at the software because if you see it, everybody fucking sees it. Now they had to buy whole new goddamn machines. And I've been to Colorado. I've been in the Denver goddamn airport. There's a mural that shows the end of times. There's an elevator that goes down. You have to climb down 7 flights on a ladder. Is it flights of ladders, Gary? How the fuck? Yeah. Gary says it's flights of fucking ladders. And you take the ladder down. And down you go in the Denver airport. Down through this is me climbing down an elevator. I'm not milking a cow or jacking off 2 guys laying on a table. Don't understand. So I'm going down the elevator. Stop it. And I go down the other, and then you get to a point, and then you have to have what's that thing they call it when they scan a rectal scanner. And then they scan your rectum, and then you can get inside. And then you go into the elevator, and it's another 5 miles down into the Earth's core, where you have all these old mines that were created in the 1700s by the Illuminati and a coal baron who started the Rothschild family thing. And under there is the key to Area 51. It's the exact same size as the keys you get in the old Atari Dungeons and Dragons game. And then you take it and you put it. Never mind. I can't tell you the rest of it. It's against the law.
Without taking that image before the data was destroyed by the trusted build, no one would have known what happened. And so
what did happen?
Tina Peters is a hero.
No, she's not. She's a criminal.
So everybody, if I'm hearing this right?
I'm going to guess you're fucking not.
What we have up here in Frank's speech shows the modems that were on there, whatever. It showed that illegal stuff that was on these machines. It showed a deletion of the 20.
Yeah, they all had a modem. Yeah, you had to take a phone and then you would take the phone and put it in a little holder that goes into the computer, and then you clack away at it for a second, and then you go, we're in.
20 election and another election, which is illegal.
Wait, how many elections are we legally allowed to have in a democracy?
And if they hadn't done that, if we didn't have this,
you probably wouldn't have gotten fucked with in a Hardee's parking lot.
Nobody would know. This is what's inside the machines, everybody. This is what they've been hiding from all of us.
I think they've been hiding a lot more. I'm going to go with an alien dead body, who actually seized Area 51, and don't give me any of that weather balloon bullshit.
And it's been right up here on Frank's speech, and the FBI goes, well, where'd you get it? I said, we got it off the internet. It's been up there for months.
Yeah, has it? On your site. Where'd you get it from? Who gave it to you? Where'd it come from? How'd you get it? Did Tina Peters give it to you?
Since I think February. And
where was it before February?
So it's all over the internet, so we put it up there. These reports came out of Colorado. I believe Tina Peters is.
Now you're on it.
She was still in her capacity as working as the county clerk.
Well, if you're going to rob a bank, and have the manager help you, it helps that they're still the manager at the bank during the robbery.
Clerk of Mesa County, and these reports that were put together that she had done, that these reports show.
So she did these reports, is what you're saying. So this is you're telling, let me get this fucking straight. You're telling this to an FBI agent while you stink of onion rings. All right.
Everything that happened.
So you're telling it, he's asking you where you got it, and you're saying Tina Peters. Gotcha.
We have the reports, too, of the report 1, 2, and 3 of the Mesa County report. Now, the FBI is asking me about this. And then they said, and Mike,
they said, hey, can I call you Mike, or is it Mr. Pillow?
We have another question. I said, okay. You fly your plane around all over the place, and why are you flying everywhere?
Why do you fly Why can't you just drive between airports? We're just curious. Have you ever flown to the Denver airport? Have you ever seen the mural of the end times? Have you ever gone down do you ever milk 2 cows at the same time in the Denver airport and then gone to the elevator with the rectal scan and gotten into there, or it gets into you, and then you go down 2 miles below there, and then they see you've got the skeleton of one of the Greys from Roswell.
I go, well, that's really none of your business, but
it kind of is. I mean, they're the FBI.
Now that you ask.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you, but I'll tell you just to tell you.
I'm meeting with the Attorney General, Secretary of State, going into counties, cities, and talking to people, politicians, people on the ground, whatever, to get rid of the electronic voting machines.
And how's that working out for you? You having a lot of luck with that in the last couple of years? We got an election coming up. You any closer to actually getting that? And so what did the FBI guy do after he stopped laughing?
And then they asked, when did you meet Tina Peters? I go,
yeah. How long you guys been going out? You ever do the bad baby, huh?
You guys already know that. You're the FBI.
Well, no, we're following you duck hunting. We don't know where the fuck Tina Peters is.
I met her at the Cyber Symposium.
How'd she get there?
Well, yeah, you flew her in on your plane. Yeah, we flew about 100 people in on my plane.
Yeah, we don't care about the other 99. How did she get there? Thanks. Gary, write that down. This fucker just admitted to flying her in. At any point, did the FBI agents, any of them, start yawning?
From all different states. I didn't know who was coming. This was a team of people. We invited the politicians, we invited cyber experts, and we invited the media.
And Tina Peters is the media.
So a lot of the media...
Oh, she's not the media, the other people. The media didn't come. I got you.
Politicians, just people were flown in from...
People who need people. I love singing Barb.
All 50 states. We flew in as many as we could. That's where I met the people in Colorado. So I think, you know what I think, Brandon?
Nobody knows what you think.
Is now that I've had time to think about this.
You think that now that you have had time, what you think is now that you've had time to think is, and?
I believe they were kind of hoping they met these people in Colorado in the spring or something when they did all this, when Tina did her job and did the backup of the computer and stuff.
Oh, you mean the crime in question?
If you follow me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I follow you. They were not as much as the FBI does, sure, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they're trying. And I go, you guys.
You guys, come on. Don't you guys know? She stole it. I flew her out of the state on this particular date with a lot of other people on my plane. Should I have a lawyer?
I didn't know any of those people then. Then he goes, well, how about Dr. Doug Frank? And I go, okay.
Who the fuck doesn't know Dr. Doug Frank? Moon River.
You mean the physicist from Ohio?
No, not that Dr. Frank. The really, forward doctor who will tell you the bad news right out of the gate. I don't even think Frank's his real name. They just call him Dr. Frank because he walks right into the office and he goes, "You're going to die, Gary." He goes, the doctor comes in, he goes, "Gary, you're going to die." Gary goes, "Well, how long have I got?" And the doctor goes, 10. And he goes, 10 what? And the doctor goes, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
I said, yeah. I said,
that's not funny. Death isn't that funny. Come on. It's an old Dr. Frank joke. Come on.
I met him in Brandon House's house, his studio.
Wait a minute. You just fucked with Brandon? Hang on. This motherfucker just sold Brandon House down the fucking river? What kind of friend are you prick?
Time to think about this.
Yeah.
I believe
what?
They're going...
The children are our future? No, that's just what I believe.
They were kind of hoping they met these people in Colorado in the spring or something when they did all this, when Tina did her job and did...
Not quite her job.
The backup of the computer and stuff. You follow me?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they're trying. And
Mike, you look tired. How about next week you sleep in, pal?
go, you guys, I didn't know any of those people then. Then he goes, well, how about Dr. Doug Frank? And I go, okay.
Who the fuck doesn't know?
You mean the physicist from Ohio? I said, yeah. I said, I met him in Brandon House's house, his studio. And
hey, Brandon, how does it feel to be thrown under the goddamn bus?
When we went
You always got to bring my name up, don't you?
Right. Well, it's the truth.
Yeah, they're coming for your phone next, fucko.
That's when I met him. I had never met him before. And that was on when
this is all your fault, Brandon.
Did absolute interference.
He's going to throw you. Look how red this motherfucker is. Look at his face. He's like a human turnip. Radish. That's what I was looking at. It's like a much smaller turnip.
And as you know,
I don't know. I'm from Minnesota. I can't eat radishes. They fuck with me. You know how it is.
Oh, Brandon, I want this to get out to the public.
Right. Yeah, that's what your attorney's worried about, fucko.
I never met Doug Frank before in my life. And I like to do our shows where it's off the cuff, you know?
Yeah, talking out of your ass. Zero preparation. We get that. And yeah, we all understand that.
Right.
So here's this guy, this physicist.
Yeah, who I just met at this fucking guy's house. I never even saw these assholes before, Your Honor.
He's one of the smartest people I've ever known.
Yeah, but considering the list.
And he's sitting there and he's telling me about these algorithms or this data that he got from the Secretary of State, or he got them from the actual voter rolls that anybody can get.
And anybody can get it, but somehow he came up with a magical equation, being a physics professor from Ohio, that no one else has figured out, that shows that the entire election was thrown, and if you just apply this regular algorithm, it lines up exactly. And now I buy it. Sounds good.
If you do a FOIA request, Freedom of Information Act. So he got this information and
Gary, write that down. Freedom of Information Act. What is that? That sounds interesting.
Showing it, if you remember.
I was standing behind the camera and he started doing all this and you were hearing it for the very first time.
Yeah, it was fantastic. You'd never heard any of this shit, and yet you believed it right out of the gate. I think that shows that you're a trusting person. That's Minnesota for you right there. I don't need to believe it. Just tell it to me, and I'll tell someone else. That's how neighbors are.
And my mouth dropped.
Yeah, you were just like, whoa. And we got done with that, and you said, okay, we've got to do a whole hour on nothing but this.
And in a second, great. So due diligence was done.
And we shut it down. Within about 15 minutes, we were reshooting a whole nother hour, and it ended up becoming scientific proof.
Scientific proof. And
that's how the magic happens.
I want to do here, I wonder if we have any of our team watching.
No, definitely not.
I would like, if you can, maybe
say one of their names. Say some random shit on one of your staff. I love when you do that.
You can pull up on Frank's speech, if we can pull up that, if scientific proof is somewhere.
Yeah, put your glasses on, Brandon. It's easier to see the website if you use some sort of visual aid.
Where people can find it and watch it. Everybody should go back and watch that.
Yeah, I already did. Nah.
I'm going to have scientific proof put up there, too, now that the FBI brought up Doug Frank.
Yeah, so I think if you go here to frankspeech.com.
Yeah, what are the odds?
Click on Fix 2020 first.
Oh, my God. What noise was that?
Go down to
Did he just cough up a hamster?
Absolute Series. When you click on that, there they all are, okay? Absolute Series.
Absolute Series.
Absolute.
Yeah, there it is.
Series, click that. And then it should here have all of...
Yeah, don't show us I don't need to look at your browsing history. I'm about to barf.
What's going on here?
Why don't you just put in, put in the search engine and put...
Yeah, just do that.
Absolutely.
Nah, because you're being shadow banned.
Scientific proof?
Yeah, we should be able to do that. Let's see if that works.
I think you should, but I don't think you'll be able.
I just wanted to get up front and center for people to see.
This is high quality entertainment. God damn.
See. Go ahead and see that. I want to know if this is working anyway.
Nah, it's not. Looks like shit.
You know, we have massive numbers of people here to.
Yeah, 43, 41, 38, 36, 20, motherfucker.
This platform, everybody, is a communication platform like
it totally is.
No other.
That's true. No one would replicate this.
And what we're going to do tonight, we're also going to tell you, tell you all the assets and stuff we have here at Frank's Beach and what you can do. This is your one-stop shop.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, I'm going back to me because I'm going to hurt my face doing that. All right, this is he at one point, where is this?
Forgot about it, Brandon. I don't know, plausible deniability, but them wanting to know where my plane is or why it was flying to all these states.
Okay, here we go.
And then
he picks up on this.
Asked about when I first met Tina Peters and all this stuff, and they never really got around to. We talked about Dennis Montgomery's data being in Nevada. I said, you know what, you guys? I said, why don't you guys be, they've weaponized you, the FBI.
Why don't you just stop? Just stop. You don't have to do this. You don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. You're a good person.
Pushing doors down and stuff. I said, like Sharona Bishop, America's Mom. That's
America's Mom.
One of the famous quotes by one of them. So that one was definitely from Colorado. He said, everybody, wait on it. Here's what he said.
All right, I'm waiting. She didn't come to the door fast enough?
I said, you guys are disgusting. You're bashing doors down. Why didn't you go?
He told FBI guys in a parking lot in Hardee's in Minnesota that they're disgusting.
You're sitting here doing all this in a public parking lot in the middle of the day. Why didn't you come to my house and bash my door down?
Jesus.
I said, like you did all the people in Colorado, these moms that have daughters that you're...
These moms that have daughters. You mean the one woman who was engaged in wire fraud?
Ripped down the thing by their hoodies.
Ripped down the thing by their hoodies.
Make some of them stand out half naked in the yard.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
It's disgusting what they've done there, the FBI. And you know what he said? Well, Sharona did not open her door fast enough. That's what they said. And it was, I've heard, now this part, and I've only heard that it was 42 seconds.
Yeah, that's nonsense. That's ridiculous. You're a silly person. It wasn't 42 seconds. Knock it the fuck off.
Well, everybody out there, let this go on your thing now. When they start coming for all the people like they did...
Better set an alarm, 42 seconds. You've got until the attack.
Nazi Germany.
Jesus Christ.
And they just remember, you better get one of those little timers or a little clock stopwatch there at your door. When they knock on the door, FBI, you got 41 seconds to get to that door. You're going to have to pay for a new door. The FBI didn't cover their damage. Nobody got arrested. They bashed their doors in to intimidate, to scare people, so people wouldn't talk to them, so people would quit talking about getting rid of the election machines.
Obviously not, because you're allowed to talk about whatever the fuck you want.
This is what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. I thought it was the hokey pokey, but I could be wrong.
I want to tell everybody too that on Instagram and tell everybody that's watching right now on Rumble and everywhere else here.
Yeah, Facebook especially.
At Lindell TV. If you guys go back and look, I want all of you to do a little experiment here when you get time.
Oh yeah, I will. Absolutely.
Tonight, go back and look at Twitter. Go back and look at my Twitter. It's still up there, even though I can't use it. It's archived, right? It's archived.
Yeah, I go to the Twitter archives. I mean, I'll do a FOIA request.
There and check it out. I don't know if you can see it or not, but even check on other people's Twitters. And and Facebook, everybody, and any media back then. Brandon, here's what happened back then. If you look at anybody's social media in November, December, and January of 2020 and
2020,
going into 2021, anybody that mentions anything about the election or suckabuck.
Yep, anti-Semitic trope about Jewish owner of Meta, Facebook.
Spending all this money or people cheating or whatever.
By the way, calling him suckabuck, I think technically would qualify as anti-Semitic, anti-Jewish tropes. Just saying.
And all this stuff, that's still up there, Brandon. But if you mention, everybody, if you mention machines.
Yeah. Rise of the Machines, any of the Terminator sequels, really.
If you mention anything about voting machines being gone or bad things about the voting companies, it's completely whitewashed. It's gone. They erased it. It's gone. You can't even look at what was there. Now, was this Alan Duke's doings? Oh, absolutely, Alan Duke was part of it.
Fucking Alan Duke.
Alan Duke is a traitor to our nation. He's the Facebook fact checker. He works in just like this with old Mark Zuckerberg.
Yikes.
And their little third thing.
It's weird that Alan Duke, oddly enough, doesn't have a Jewish surname, and therefore you haven't come up with like Alan Dick or something that you haven't twisted his name into something that creates a trope. Isn't that? Anybody else find that interesting?
Martin, they were out having a ball the other day together. Sent me a picture, arm in arm. I should send that to you. Beautiful, arm in arm. We're the two traitors. One of them's from Belgium. I guess he can't be a traitor.
Well, yeah, he can't be a traitor to Belgium. Nobody's a traitor to Belgium.
He's in Belgium.
Sure, Belgium.
But he does fact check all of United States to make sure that he can put covers over it. Remember when they put over Absolute Proof, the movie you helped make, Brandon? And it's it said contain nudity and porn.
Right.
Contain nudity and porn.
Did I miss the early cut of this? I feel like I've been cheated because the version I debunked, that I fact checked, had no nudity and porn, and I feel let down.
And Alan Duke.
I mean, there were a couple of times when I was watching it, and I was like, "This guy's fucked," but that's not what I meant.
Shame on you, Alan Duke. You're disgusting for putting that up. You know. He goes,
By the way,
Mike.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, look at what President Trump said about you yesterday. Mike Lindell, breaking news, Mike Lindell, the pillow guy, was just raided by the FBI.
Raided.
We are now officially living in a weaponized police state, rigged elections and all. Our country is a laughingstock all over the world. The majesty of the United States is gone. Can't let this happen. Take back America. And by the way, I could play a little clip. You want to hear what Tucker Carlson?
Yeah, let's play Tucker.
You want to hear what Tucker said about you? Here we go.
We'll get to double up on this.
Here we go, Logan.
Yeah.
You got that, Logan? Okay, here we go.
Logan,
told you last night that the Biden administration has politicized law enforcement to the point where it feels Soviet, and we were not overstating it. The FBI...
Yes, we're not. It feels very Soviet.
...has just raided the guy who sells pillows on this channel. Not because...
On this channel, I see. So it's really this is about Tucker.
The pillows were bad.
Not because the pillows are bad, although they are.
But because they don't like who he voted for.
How do they know who he voted for?
Matt Finn is tracking the developments in that story.
Did he even fucking vote? Do we know that he voted?
Tonight, Matt?
Tucker, Mike Lindell, known as the Pillow Guy.
No, he's Mike Pillows, how he's known.
Reports on his live stream, Lindell TV, that FBI agents located him, questioned him, showed him their badges, and asked him...
And then raided his rectum.
...questions about Colorado and Dominion voting machines, and then provided him with a warrant to seize his cell phone.
What? A warrant? What? I thought we were a banana republic run by a Gestapo Nazis. They don't need a fucking warrant.
And he says, show me your badges. So they show one badge. I said, how about yours? Cause I don't trust anybody. Like, there's bad people. Well, they do that, and they said, what do you want?
What do you want?
And says, we need to talk to you. So I pull over, and
they don't even have any fucking time for it.
Mike Lindell said
it was very exciting. It was riveting. If you want to see the whole broadcast, I can't imagine why.
He initially told those agents he would not surrender his phone because he does not have a computer and runs all of his businesses off of that phone.
Like an asshole.
Lindell published on his live stream what he claims was the warrant for that phone. We do not have Lindell's account confirmed right now, but we will be looking into it and keeping you updated, Tucker.
FBI raiding the pillow guy. This has got to be peak insanity. If that's...
Yes, peak insanity. I mean, just because he helped get rid of... helped a woman flee a federal warrant on his private plane.
It's true. At some point, this can't continue. Matt Finn, I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Wow, and they mentioned Lindell TV, too.
Right, and that was Fox News, everybody. So this is what I was saying earlier, and I want to give we got to get our guest on here, but I want to say this. I want to give a compliment, okay, to all the media watching right now.
Oh, sweet.
That I called today, that I talked to, and believe me, it was probably over 40 interviews between yesterday and today. Every one of you guys, I was watching the articles that came out. You actually put the quotes in there. You at least put the quotes in there that I had. That was very respectable of you. A lot of you that had to listen to me go.
I gotta say, I would totally interview Mike Billow on my channel. If I could get him on the morning show, holy shit.
Go on and tell you once again that you should do your jobs as journalists. A lot of you got scolded. I know the Minnesota ones really got scolded because they hadn't talked to me in over a year and a half, Brandon. Over a year and a half. This is my local media. I said, oh, you really care about the 2,000 MyPillow employees?
Oh, fuck you with your dragging the shit. This is the same stuff we've heard over and over again. I was trying to find where he said what he actually ate.
Happened yesterday. We're going to go through it again. But in the meantime, we're live streaming over here on Instagram. And do you know, I'm going to ask my assistant here, do you know, did we put out a notification? Because now I see today, it looks like they're even restricting Instagram.
I've got even fewer viewers.
Only 400 people.
Pathetic.
What
and that's including making the employees watch.
Shame. Do they send out a notification? Does it send it out automatic?
Yes, it does.
Huh?
No, it just shows up on the top that you're live there, up in your stories.
Oh, okay. So there's no notification. So
yeah, that's not how Instagram works.
Maybe people don't know. If you're on Instagram, please share it out. I'm going to tell the story. We are trying to get enough people now where we're able to communicate. After the media quits attacking now that they have for the last 2 days, they're going to go silent again, Brandon.
Yeah, because you won't be interesting enough.
The media will go silent. But I'm going to tell everybody and give you the short version here of what happened yesterday. My friend and I were going duck hunting in Iowa.
Okay, I think this is where he tells what he actually ate.
Our early teal season. We got up at 4 a.m. We headed down 2.5 hours down to Iowa. We headed down there. We would have got our limited duck, but I had to leave early. I said I got to get back. I have all these entrepreneurs products that I have to do a video for and tell, hey, every one of these entrepreneurs has a story for my.
Yeah, so you interview people on my store.
MyStore.com. So we talked about at the top of the hour. Well, I had to get back for them. I said, you know what? We got 9 ducks. We'll just.
So now we know that while they were in the drive-thru at Hardee's, they had 9 dead ducks in the trunk.
Have to call it. It was a good little quick trip.
Sun beaten down. While he's yelling at the FBI, people are going, is that Hardee's or?
Down to Iowa. Well, on our way back, we got hungry about Mankato, Minnesota. And I said, let's quick go through a drive-thru.
Yeah, let's quick go through a drive-thru.
So we went through this drive-thru in a Hardee's restaurant.
$2.50. We're almost done.
Which I guess Hardee's has signs out now. They've become actually quite famous for a restaurant.
Yes, I don't know if you've ever heard of Hardee's, but they now have signs.
Restaurant, but I like Hardee's. I ordered a mushroom Swiss and a chocolate shake. They hand make them. They really make them.
They really make them. They hand make them. Really, it's not a vending machine.
Actually good.
It's actually good. Easy with the hard sell, buddy.
And my friend orders what he wanted, right?
Yeah, fuck him though. Your friend ordered. You got a bacon Swiss or whatever the fuck, and a chocolate shake. You know, like a grown man, and eating in the morning. This is fucking breakfast.
So what we did then?
He got whatever my friend, whoever he is, got whatever he was going to eat.
Is we ordered our food. And they said, "Well, can you pull ahead? We'll bring the other stuff right out."
Yeah, you there's a little window and you order, and then you like a little machine usually, and you talk into the little speaker thing, and then you go get it. Right. We all know how a drive-thru works.
Some other
mushroom and Swiss. That's right.
Stuff too, and so we pulled ahead a little bit, everybody.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And I'm sitting there and a car pulls perpendicular in front of us in the where the drive-through is, right where we pulled ahead a little bit by the sidewalk. And I told my friend, I said, that's weird. Something's wrong. I could just sense something was wrong. Nobody.
I could sense something like right in front of you, blocking your head. Like, this looks sketchy. I'm streetwise. I'm from Minnesota.
Pulls like that and just stops. And he wasn't even looking at us. And then another car immediately pulled up the side of us and pinned us in here.
Right.
And then one came right up the drive-through and pinned the back end. And I go to my friend, I go, we got some bad people. Something's going down. And I open the door and I said,
they're going to take our pillows and our ducks.
Who are you people? What do you
Who are you people?
want? And the one guy says, he
okay, we saw that part. We went through that. But yeah, so he had a mushroom and Swiss, and then a chocolate shake, like a millionaire. Like, fucking, that's a dude who knows how to live. You know what I mean? If you're gonna go through a fucking drive-through at a fast food place, I mean, you're not gonna just get a burger. This guy's he's got champagne taste. He's gonna get a mushroom and Swiss, you fucking heathens. And a chocolate shake, because he's a fucking toddler. Yeah, the speaker thing is a machine. You can't hand me the food right out of the weird little perforated hole. No, you have to come up to the window. Why? Sir, could you pull up? The FBI is waiting for you to try to escape. All right.
Opens up his door, he stands out, and he goes, we're FBI, and we need to talk to you. And I said, I don't believe you. Show me your badges.
Because there's bad people all over the place. All right, I gotta go. I have a radio in the morning, and I'm hanging out. I'm going late again, and it's just part of the thing. And hi. All right, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. Philip Ittner's going to be joining us in the second hour tomorrow, and it'll be me and Johnny Million for the first hour. And you guys are wonderful, and I will see you guys then. Thank you guys for the support. I appreciate everybody who's subscribed. Don't forget, like and subscribe. Give a thumbs up on your way out the door, or if you're on Facebook, do a little emoji thing or throw some stars my way as you head out the door. If you think the show, if I've made you laugh at all today, made you think, or given you a new piece of information, you know, Venmo whatever you think that's worth, or super chat me or something like that at some point. Or if you come to a live show, and whether it's a Nerd Halen show or Sexy Liberal or one of these things, and I see you in person, just give me a hug. That'll work. That's good too. But until tomorrow morning, I'll see you guys. Take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. And try to eat well and exercise. I'm just gonna say, it's not, that kind of shit's not good for your brain. It just isn't. See you tomorrow. I don't got time to bleed.